Hello, beautiful people. I am here to tell you that I have a massive announcement to make about a great time that is on the horizon. A show that is unprecedented, incomparable, a show that has no equal, a big night out. He's coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the PPG Paints Arena on Wednesday, April 9th. There will be massive surprises. There will be big-time sing-alongs, hella laughs, and over $1 million will be given away inside of that arena. Give me a hell yeah! Tickets will go on sale Thursday. It'll cost as little as $20 to get in the door. No ticket will cost more than $100. It's gonna be a night that you remember forever. And you might even see this guy. All right, Cole, get out. And many others. I can't wait to see you at a big night out.
Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. That was for me.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this happy birthday NFL Wednesday, March 12, 2025. This program starts now. Football! It's celebrating a massive day. The new league year and the official free agency signing period begin at 4 o'clock today. Congrats to the NFL.
Yeah.
Another trip around the sun. And you know, this marks the beginning of a new league year. Everybody at the bottom of the mountain trying to chase the Philadelphia Eagles, who grind and pounded their way behind a great offensive line and Saquon Barkley all the way to the top of Lombardi Mountain. They are our current world champions. And today, every organization you would hope would be leaving no stone unturned on the pursuit to becoming world champs at the end of this particular season. Now, we all thought maybe, you know, the NFL would not be able to survive another year. Sure. Yeah, maybe last year was their last season. Turns out they're back, and salary cap's bigger than it's ever been. Contracts are larger than they've ever been. More ratings and eyes on the game than there's ever been. More ways to enjoy the game than there's ever been. And it's a wonderful time for the NFL. So congrats to them, and happy birthday. Happy birthday to the NFL. That's 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. Has an F1 hoodie on. That season starting this weekend.
Sure is.
I don't know how that survived.
No what?
Thought that was going to be one of the ones that didn't have another season.
Pinnacle.
But this is going to be the year where we're going to pay attention to this.
Yep.
We're going to dive in. We're going to pay our respects to racing that happens in Europe. Doesn't mean it's the pinnacle.
Happens everywhere.
Well, yeah, I heard they've been
Here.
infiltrating our shit. Yeah, down here in Miami, we got lost on the track trying to get into the building. Actually,
we did.
In a Sprinter van. It was a great time, wasn't it? You
It was.
Yeah, go outside, kiss the pavement, do the whole thing, so I can maybe taste some of the rubber. F1 starts this weekend.
Yes, in Melbourne.
Okay, well, good luck to all the F1 drivers.
Whatever.
Maybe a little bit faster, exciting racing this year.
We got
That'd be
different favorite, different betting favorite to win it all this year.
Van der Stappen, if he's racing, we know he's going to win this thing.
That's what we would think. I mean, I would take the money plus money on him, but Lando Norris, McLaren. driver.
Orlando
He's
Norris.
the favorite. Yep.
Orlando. We know Orlando pretty good.
Uh-huh.
He won a couple races that he wasn't supposed to win, remember?
He did.
Because I think Van der Stappen was in the lead, and then Lando says, I want to go, and he said, I'm not doing it, and they did a little joke. Right? Is that Lando?
Lando was the guy who could have won the race, but ended up letting his teammate, Oscar Piastri, win it.
Okay, so that's how I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he won
which
in
is-
Miami.
And that's when we learned that you guys aren't actually racing.
Not trying to win.
Yeah, no, you're not trying to win because the person that was winning the race
Good
was told,
teammate.
yeah, but I thought we're trying to, nonetheless, this is the year, F1.
It's the year.
Have fun, boy.
Good luck down there in Australia, down under, you know, as they say. The NFL, though, obviously cooking. They're dropping, as Foxy put up there, they're dropping a football over in Times Square.
Cool. Beautiful.
You know, crowds already gathered to watch football drop. Now, I was just in New York City on Monday. It's alive.
Really?
Like weather, I think it might have been the first day where it was very good weather. You know, we've gotten like a couple different fake springs, little pump fakes. It was perfect. The weather was awesome. It was an active city. I mean, there was people, every crosswalk, it was damn impossible to kind of turn to go a different direction because of how many people were out and about running, biking, living. You know, it was beautiful to see, actually. It was really fun to be a part. Sucked to drive anywhere.
Always.
You know, it wasn't necessarily a good thing for the time it took to get to said Madison Square Garden. But I assume this is going to be very active. I assume this is going to be a good shot. And shout out to the NFL. I'm sure some middle manager came up with this idea, and they said, that is the only way to launch the 2025 NFL season. That's big brain stuff. That's big brain stuff. Everybody will see. Do it Times Square, obviously. The Toxic Table's here. At Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you, Ty. You've missed a lot here with the free agency tampering period. We are very happy that you are back. How do you feel about where the Packers stand? We haven't got any takes at all from the Green Bay contingency on this particular free agency over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, first and foremost, it's great to be back. It sucked missing the last couple of days, especially with all this stuff going on, because when you're not in it, it's so hard to keep. I mean, like the amount of deals that are happening, like it really is head spinning when you're not in here and being able to, okay. I'm okay with what the Packers have done so far. My whole thing was I just want them to get a couple vets because I'm tired of this is the youngest team in the NFL. Like they kind of proved last year, especially down the stretch. Like they need some guys who have kind of been there and done that before to maybe shore up the locker room a little bit. So, I mean, they got a guard, who anytime you're going to add offensive linemen, especially as we've seen in recent years, like with how much they ran the football last year, I kind of like that. Can't say I've ever really heard of the guy before, to be honest, but he started for the 49ers.
We did a lot of that the last couple of years.
Exactly. More and more of that this year. And then, they do get a cornerback from the Raiders who they're going to end up losing both their cornerbacks. So it's kind of one of those things where I've known in years past, like the Packers it doesn't matter how much cap space they have or how little cap space they have. They're not going to be super active like a lot of teams are. So anytime, I was saying like, hey, I want them to go get DK Metcalf. I want them to check in on Trey Hendrickson. Like they're never going to do that. The chances that's just stupid and wishful thinking. So we'll see. There's still a couple, vets out there that are available. They need to get a receiver though. They really, really need to get and they missed on like a true number one, I guess, but they need some help there. But you see what everyone else in the division's doing. That's kind of why it's like, hey, let's go. Like, let's make some moves here.
A lot of action in the NFC North. Obviously, it was one of the best divisions in all of ball last year. That's only going to continue, we would assume, even though the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy's their starter currently. Who knows what the future holds for them? Since You've Been Gone, great song.
So good.
Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. Yeah. You know this song?
You. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Who's by?
Okay.
That's a banger.
Okay.
All demos.
I couldn't tell you who was by either. So I don't know who.
Kelly Clarkson.
Of course.
Oh, that's Kelly?
That's Kelly. That's our
Working
first.
on it.
Hey, she could sing. Kelly Clarkson can.
She can sing the shit out of it.
Got the pipes.
She has her own show. And whenever we're off, my wife watches it, so I see it. And it's like, she just does karaoke for like 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
And it's just her murdering everybody else's song, like just singing it better than. I'm like, you should just do this this should be an hour.
Oh, yeah.
She does interviews, great interviews.
Obviously.
She does jokes, great jokes, does good Q&A. But the karaoke, it's like, hey, Kelly, nobody on earth can do what you do. And she knows it, I think. She is a weapon. Anyway, since you've been gone, this guy doesn't watch hockey anymore.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty insane hockey talk yesterday. It all revolved around basically Connor has quit on the Boston Bruins. Not quit on them. He's quit on Sweeney, who's the general manager of the Boston Bruins, because they traded Marchand to the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers, obviously the biggest rival in recent memory of the Boston Bruins, especially as the reigning Stanley Cup champions. And they met for the first time. I don't know if you know this last night. Marchand back on the Boston ice with the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers reigning Stanley Cup champs. Guess who won the game last night?
Who?
Boston Bruins. Guess who didn't watch?
Who?
This guy. They could have had a great night last night.
Wow.
Ended with a fight, too. You guys won at the end in a fight. I mean, it could have been a great night for you. You were choosing to not cheer for the Bruins strictly because one guy is seemingly trying to tear it all down, but you got to continue to support. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, still supporting the players. Swayman, McAvoy,
Oh my
Pasternak,
God,
like I
Swayman
said.
let one. Swayman let one. They went to a review. They went to a review actually to see if it was in because it ended up across. This was like with 1:20 left in the game, down one. It was a great ending. I mean, it was electrifying. And I texted you immediately like, oh no, Swayman just let a squeaker through, bro. And it did look bad. Then he ran the audio, whistle blew. Great win by the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, huge. It's awesome. Now that I'm not watching, they probably will go on and win the Stanley Cup. But I still had a fantastic night, catching up on the Boston Celtics documentary, going back, to the 60s and 70s in Boston was real fun. Definitely nothing.
What, you learn a lot?
Definitely nothing terrible going on then. But no, it was good to see that the Bruins are winning. It's great that the boys are rallying around Sacco, the best coach in the NHL. Kind of my assumption was that Sacco was going to have the boys going once again, and of course they still are. But no, huge one, for the Celtics. Okay, I'm glad that the Bruins are playing well, but the Celtics once again are competing for that NBA championship, playing the OKC Thunder tonight, going up against the 1 seed, at home. We're the favorites, of course, because as Rich Paul said, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and that's who the Boston Celtics are. So
Ric Flair said that. I think Rich Paul there was quoting something along to knock off the Kings to become the Kings.
Exactly.
Who the Boston Celtics are.
Potatoes, potato.
tomato.
That's fine. Yeah,
Panthers
of course.
too.
There you go. We can do all that. We can nickel and dime this conversation, but the Celtics are still the champs. Okay, and that's kind of the bottom line here. I don't know if Rich Paul said that as well, but no, I'm looking forward to that. But no, hockey season's been fun. It was a real good ride. Ever since we set the record for most wins, most points in an NHL season, it's been incredible. But now, unfortunately for a lot of Boston Bruins fans, their sights have been, kind of altered.
We like Missoula a lot, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. We love Joe. Jason, they've already won a title, ladies and gentlemen. This team is very young. This is kind of like the 2011 Bruins. That's what we're seeing with the Boston Celtics right now. They are incredible at the basketball. So maybe we do, let's just move over a little.
Well, the Celtics are in trouble. I want to let you know. Shot of the year is now calling Indiana home.
What?
Yeah, Tyrese Haliburton last night said, this is Tyrese Haliball game. Getting Tyrese Halibuckets. Drifting sideways while fouled on an inbound where they ran a tunnel screen, basically. Down 3 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Gets fouled. 4-point play to walk off a dub against the Bucks. Now, I guess it wasn't a walk-off technically because Giannis had a chance to answer. He would run down the court and airball it. But whenever Tyrese Haliburton buried the and one, 4-point play. Pacers took a lead with 3 seconds left. This was electrifying live. I believe we will be talking to Tyrese Haliburton in about 50 minutes or so to kind of get his headspace on the biggest shot he's hit.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm sure there was some
He hit a garden.
playoff. Yeah, there was some playoff.
That was so nasty.
Last night?
Oh
Dude,
my God.
what a play.
But-
First of all, play design, phenomenal.
But running full speed and then shooting that back to your right as you're running full speed, that's an insane. Over Giannis, who knows what his wingspan is, over Giannis, and then obviously Dame's on the bench, so right in front of Dame. That's just all-time shit. Then followed up with making a free throw after they tried to ice you. That's big-time ball.
Yeah, they wanted to review if it was a foul or not, I think, or if he was in bounds. I think there was it felt like it was a 10-minute review.
Yeah.
And they said Tyrese sitting over there knowing he's about to shoot a free throw to win the game. Now, granted, potentially goes to overtime because it is tied at the time. They're not down. But he knocks it down pure. I mean, there wasn't even a doubt on the free throw. Mm-hmm. And we needed it. Obviously, Bucs and Pacers in the playoff conversation. And Tyrese Haliburton, perfect face of a franchise, this guy, especially for the Indiana Pacers. Last night, he was wearing the DX Pumas that he had specially made. He actually shouted out Mr. H numerous times in the postgame presser. Said that if he would have gave the suck it would have been a $25,000 fine. By the NBA.
Worth it.
So he said he wasn't going to take the fine. We will ask him, or $25K, especially after that. We can figure out $25,000
Sure,
somewhere, can't we? I think he's just trying to respect the game. trying to respect the boys, and also let everybody know that he is a wrestling fan, always has been, always will be. Had a double-double last night, obviously not his biggest night of the year, but he had a double-double in the DX shoes and hits a game winner and has a 4-point play. That's a pretty good way to launch the DX Pumas. So congratulations to Tyrese Haliburton and the rest of the East. I'm sorry about it. Y'all can suck it. The Pacers are getting hot at the right time. And we'll talk to Tyrese at 1:05 Eastern time. That'll be about 50 minutes from now. Texted him last night, superstar, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we have Shaquille O'Neal joining us at 2:30 Eastern. He was on the air immediately after this game. Listening to them talk about everything happening, certainly fascinating. Lefko out there doing his thing. He looks so cool.
Oh, yeah. Great shoe game.
Lefko looks so cool. When they came back to the studio after this game, Lefko was actually clapping for the game. He's like, that was a good game. That was good. It was. Is basketball back? Is basketball bringing it? Feels like if they're going to have magical moments like this happen on random Tuesdays, why not? We'll talk to Tyrese. Can't wait for that. One half of the Hammer
Dahn.
Cowboys ball cap Tone here. Tone, Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously beautiful St. Patrick's Day Irish hat. You got it right there. Topical. Feels good.
Bingo.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans are awaiting a quarterback decision.
Yep.
What is kind of the state of Pittsburgh right now? Because let me tell you what happened. There was a video that somebody retweeted of Aaron Rodgers talking about Pittsburgh, because Big Mike McCarthy's from Pittsburgh. He's got a lot of friends from Pittsburgh. This is from years ago on our particular program. Somebody retweeted it, so it came up in my, algo yet again. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this needs to be in his zeitgeist, right? This is something because of how much he is certainly being associated with Pittsburgh and playing for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Not just them. I think the Giants are in the conversation. And then a lot of people are saying, is he going to go to the Vikings, even though the Vikings have not come out and there has not been rumors that the Vikings and Aaron are talking. We know nothing. I retweet that video, though. Yeah. I guess I should have known that this was potentially going to happen. All of Pittsburgh basically was like, oh, I know, and he's going to Pittsburgh. Seemed like there was people very excited about it. Then there was people that are indifferent about it. And it feels like, is there going to be any decision at quarterback that the entire city is going to be rallied around? And what are your thoughts on Aaron potentially being your quarterback? And once again, I just retweeted that so people know, the guy loves the city. If he was to go to Pittsburgh, loves the city. Thought it should be in the world that we're in right now, especially with how much his name is being thrown to Pittsburgh. That's not me saying I know shit. I do not know anything. I wonder if he does, And, you could text him and call him.
Sure. Ooh.
But what if he doesn't answer?
Typically.
Bingo.
For 5 days or so.
Sure.
Which maybe has been happening.
Yeah.
Before we go live, cold FaceTime. Come on. Come on. Give us something. No answer. Then you get a text back like, hey, everything's going good or whatever. It's like, all right. We just want to get a little bit of a lean, at least, on what this could be. So I know nothing. But I thought that video could be good for the current conversation because he does have massive respect for the city, for Tomlin, for everything, and the people over there. How do you feel, and what do you think Pittsburgh's thoughts are on what the quarterback situation is right now?
So to your question, is there a quarterback out there where the fan base is going to be happy? No, that person does not exist at this moment. You put out a couple polls yesterday on Instagram and Twitter on who people thought that quarterback would be. And a lot of people think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers right now, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Apparently there's some rumors out there. It could be Mason Rudolph.
Whoa. What?
That's a situation we're hoping doesn't happen, but love Mason.
I don't think Rudolph's coming in to be a starter, but maybe he'll compete. A lot of competition.
What about the draft?
We're sitting at 20. I don't know if that person exists either. I personally, and I said this yesterday, I think I'm in the minority of Steelers fans. Just because of Aaron's age and everything that potentially comes with Aaron. I'm not a believer in that. I do think Aaron is the best possibility and best chance to win next year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, there's a contingent of people.
Who voted Russ? Who's that? Is that Zito's computer? Zito voted Russ. That's what I'm realizing right there.
Yeah.
Okay. He's pulling for Russell Wilson.
You like chaos, baby?
Yeah, he's pulling for Russell Wilson because that means Rodgers would be in the NFC North, maybe, or the NFC East. That's what Zito's pulling for, I guess, if that's the case. Go ahead, Bob.
But everyone's waiting on
51,000 votes is a lot of votes. 13 hours.
Everyone's waiting on Aaron's answer. Who knows when that'll come? And there's things that are definitely working against Aaron in Pittsburgh. One being the national media. The rumors out there that he's looking for a 2-year, $90 million deal, which we believe to be false. Schrags, and I think Schrag just meant this in a glancing thing. He was like, who knows when we're going to get an answer from Aaron. It could be 1 week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. Then obviously everyone in Pittsburgh got mad of the idea of Aaron stretching people along for 4 weeks, which we have no idea if that's true or not. I looked into it today.
That is the Aaron Rodgers. That is the Aaron Rodgers thing, though.
Yeah.
You know, like Schrager says, we don't know when this answer is. Factual statement.
Yeah.
Factual statement. We don't know when it's going to be. Could be 1, could be 3, could be, And then people in Pittsburgh, isn't this guy so fucking
Bingo.
special? And it's like, did Aaron say that? Did Aaron talk to Schrager? This is just Schrager.
So Pittsburgh media right now is basically thinking he's looking for $45 million a year, and it might take a month to get an answer, which, we have no idea if that's
And with
true.
everything else you potentially have heard about Aaron, that probably similar vein stuff, it's like, this prima donna piece of, and people in Pittsburgh can feel that way pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, wins games.
Bingo.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares.
I got good news.
City of Pittsburgh is a place where if you win some football games, brother,
Love you.
come on in, man.
I got some good news. I looked into it. We are in day 11 of this current moon cycle. We're in the waxing gibbous. We have a full moon on Friday, the 14th. So I think if Aaron's moon rocks are fully charged on Friday,
See, that sounded a little condescending.
he could get some answer. We could potentially get some answer.
It sounded a little.
I think he might make a
Much
decision
so.
Saturday, Sunday after he talks to the moon gods and stuff like that.
Okay,
but no,
okay.
I know there's people in Pittsburgh, some close to me, who said they won't watch a game if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback.
Sure.
How close to you?
Super close.
How close?
I came from his nutsack close.
You're a papa?
What's that all about? Why is Coach not
He
calling?
listens to too much local sports talk.
Okay, so there's a lot of
That's
people
what
burying,
happened
huh?
there. Yeah, it was what happened
No one
there.
news channel.
I would like to let Coach Diggs know that if Aaron Rodgers ends up being a quarterback for the Steelers, which once again we do not know, there is a beautiful pair of front row tickets on the 50 right
Game
behind the
one.
Pittsburgh Steelers to game one that we would like to offer you. We'll see if he's not watching. Coach Diggs will go, come on.
Yeah, can you imagine Coach Diggs after Rodgers throws 4 touchdowns for the Steelers?
This guy's pretty good.
I always
Exactly.
Need the bike shorts.
Yes, I stand on the fact that Aaron is the best thrower of the football available right now. I think that's pretty obvious. And when you go and get the weapons that you have, I know Artie and the Steelers want to run the football, but you need to also throw the ball. We saw that a ton last year. I think Aaron's the best option, and that's why I'm still hoping.
Okay, we shall see when his answer comes. Maybe it's next year.
Never know.
That's just happening. And then people getting pissed at Aaron Rodgers because Schrager's opining about something that could happen. I just got a stat from Hembo. Number 1 in the NFL in completion percentage targeting vertical routes in 2024 was who?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, 56%. So maybe
Well, that's Russ.
Good vote, Z.
Bring Russ home.
maybe Russ is the answer. Joining us now is a man who I'm sure has an opinion or two about all of this. He is the face of quarterback coverage on ESPN. He calls games, and ladies and gentlemen, he's an absolute icon in the sports media world. Horrendous dude of Dude Perfect, Dan Orlovsky.
Dan.
Few will hunt.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. American made.
Another subtweet.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who's this message to right here? Who's this message? They wouldn't offer you a hunting show or something?
Oh.
No, some dude. I got a gift, a T-shirt from one of our family friends. This family friend that we have got me a T-shirt from this company, and it aligns pretty much with some of the things, or a lot of the things that I believe in. So I went and got some more stuff. I think they're from Philly, the company. So
Everybody wants to be a lion until it comes time to do what lions do. That's
right.
I got that dude, restoring the dignity of hard work.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like that a lot.
So-
Hard work is a work ethic. I think is the most important thing. Which is why I feel the way I
It's a
feel
differentiator.
about what's going on maybe in this city. At the in the football team. But hey, I got optimism. Let's stick with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, I think I saw you on TV say Aaron would be perfect for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you immediately said, I am keeping him the hell away from the Minnesota Vikings because he brings too much. What does that mean? And when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers situation, why is Aaron Rodgers the guy that you think should be the quarterback?
Well, ever since they traded for DK Metcalf, it became very clear that their offense just presents a problem. Immediately when they get out of the snap as a defense, you're going, all right, what are we doing? Are we going to try to play coverage, because then that'll help. The Steelers have the worst run game in the NFL over the last 6 years. Statistically, it's the worst yards per carry run offense in the NFL over the last 6 years. So one of the ways that you help it, outside of playing better offensive line-wise, is just have less people down near the football. Automatically, that is going to be a question defenses have to ask themselves with DK and George. Now, I said from the jump, this has to have George as part of the equation. And I don't know if it has become like publicly official that, yes, he is staying, because there has been some understandably question marks attached to, like, does this mean the end for George Pickens? So he's got to be a part of that. But I just look at it and go, all right, as a defense, you got to ask yourself, you're going to play coverage, or you're going to try to stop a run game that hopefully gets a little bit better. And I think that presents really well for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's the perfect. For me, it would have been Sam Darnold, but he's clearly the best option. And I think it's clearly the best option for Aaron Rodgers. That's why I get a little bit unknown about what's taking so long to make the decision. The reason why I would not do it in Minnesota would be a massive mistake was you've already made the decision, Minnesota. JJ's the guy. Once you let Sam walk, you've made it clear that JJ's the guy. Aaron's not going there to be a backup. Aaron's going there to try to go win the division and go to the Super Bowl. So this isn't open competition. This isn't hopefully you can play till J.J. McCarthy's fully ready or healthy. We're trying to win the Super Bowl with one of the greatest ever. So, and I would not do that to that young player.
Well, okay. So you wouldn't want another year of J.J. McCarthy in the building healthy, watching a veteran quarterback for 1 year. I mean, depending upon how long Aaron's playing, we know nothing from Aaron's side. We know nothing from Aaron's side. You don't think that would be an okay move for J.J. McCarthy as a whole, long-term with his career is what you're saying?
I think that you got to be very careful with saying 1 year with a veteran quarterback. Aaron's not a veteran quarterback. Aaron's one of the greatest ever. Aaron comes, whether people like disagree or agree, or there is a lot that comes with Aaron just because of what he's accomplished and the personality that he has. People love him, people hate him. And so are you really sure, Minnesota, it's not just bringing a veteran quarterback in to maybe be the guy for one more year. You're bringing in Aaron Rodgers. That's different. And so when I think you allow Sam Darnold to walk out of the building, you're making the decision as an organization. All right, the young kid is the play. This was the plan when we drafted him. It was trending that way in preseason. This is the play now. We are deciding that J.J. McCarthy is going to be the guy, and we want to now have someone there to support him rather than threaten him. You want somebody in Minnesota that is going to challenge J.J. as a professional, not kind of threaten his job and leadership role within the team.
Got it. Who do you think that would be? Just like somebody 2-3 years in, that's a backup quarterback type conversation? Like Kenny Pickett, for instance, going up there to Cleveland, like a Kenny Pickett type quarterback? Is that what you're saying? Somebody that isn't, as well, I don't know, known or respected by his peers? No offense, Kenny. Jesus Christ, you're a Super Bowl champion.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I hope Kenny understands what I'm saying. Somebody that isn't like doesn't walk into a room.
Kenny Pickett's the opening day starter for the Browns.
Okay, well, good luck to Kenny Pickett too. He came in there and started spinning against the Philadelphia Eagles. Myles Garrett came back to win. Kenny Pickett's already won a Super Bowl. Last guy to touch the ball in the Super Bowl. Kenny Pickett.
I think the ideal guy would have been Daniel Jones. That would have been the ideal guy.
Hold on. On that note, D-Bud has a question for you. And remember what your little notebook says. Go ahead.
Wow, that caught me off guard. But Colts competition, obviously we brought Daniel Jones down here to compete with Anthony Richardson. You mentioned right after it happened, right after the news broke, does AR ask for a trade? So that aside, salaries aside, what do you think about this competition and who's going to be the day one starter, in your opinion, in Indianapolis?
The day one starter, I'm not ready to sit there and say, like, definitively.
Say it. Come on, Dan, you have to. Gun to your head.
Take a guess.
I don't have to. Yeah, I just the way I look at it, and this is why I said, is Richardson going to ask for a trade? I'm not sitting here saying that teams are going to be knocking down the door to go get him type of thing. He has had moments that have been very encouraged. But it's hard to, and you guys know this, it's hard to just get rid of some of the I guess, judgments that have been made against him, especially in your own building. And if all the conversation and the noise about how things were going down last year are true, I just think that's really hard. You gave a guy $14 million, upwards of $17 million to come and compete. That's a very clear message to Anthony. Now, I've talked to people that have kind of disagreed with the Anthony wasn't working hard narrative. Not saying that is in the building.
Really?
I've had people say, nope, works hard, prepares the right way, he's working hard. Now, maybe it's not to the extreme that you want your starting quarterback, but people in the building, I've heard that. So whether it's true or not, I just think it's hard that once people within the building, I would imagine some people, because it has to come from somewhere, believe a certain thing about a player, it's just hard to shake that. And so I think Daniel Jones got a great opportunity, but I think it's very clear Anthony Richardson, the organization's telling you, like, it's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, and I'm optimistic, because D-Buck gave me a motivational speech earlier today. D-Buck gave me a motivational speech, and I've read a lot of the blogs, from the Colts fans that are all pissed off at me for just, having a front row seat to football for a long time, being very lucky to have that seat, and just seeing a lot of people that don't end up being what they could be because of, the way they go about doing their business. A lot of it revolves around like a work ethic. A lot of it revolves around like having a passion for job and things like that. So whenever you say you talk to people in the building, they've said that, that's interesting.
Let me ask you this question.
That's very, very fascinating what you just said.
A lot to learn. It's obviously it's brand new. You're the quarterback.
And he hasn't played a lot of football either.
So coming into the league, coming into the draft, I think most people around football knew, okay, this is a boom or bust guy. He's either going to be this or he's going to be that. And it's a lot to figure out. Have I seen it? People change it year 3, year 4, and really learn how to start being a pro. Yeah. Are those few and far between? Absolutely. So as a Colts fan, yeah, I'm very optimistic in March 12th, going into his 3rd year, that he starts to figure it out.
Me too.
Dan Jones, a lot of people are excited about Dan Jones. More excited, I guess, than I am. But Dan Jones can turn the corner and figure it out too. But yeah, as a Colts fan, the guy that I would want to be the day one starter and to figure it out and to do all the right things behind the scenes and show up on Sundays, more importantly, is Anthony Richardson going forward.
I agree. And you know what? I'm the same way. I read a lot of messages from Colts fans to me last night. They're being very mean. You got to do what you got to do. I appreciate your passion. I hope he has the same passion for the Colts, because that would be cool. And I think this year it could happen. I think he could hear all this noise, see what happened. He got benched last year,
Mm-hmm.
and the reasons why he got benched were very real, and I think very much brought to his attention and told to him. And it's like maybe he takes it all this offseason and rolls with it. Has not played much football. Much football. So I will say I have changed my tune. I'm optimistic about Anthony Richardson.
All right.
I'm optimistic.
Hell yeah.
I think it's very difficult to do that stuff, but I think, why not? Why not AR?
Why not?
Well, he has no choice. I mean, he
has so much talent. So much talent. It is. Yeah. That's why it's so like.
I'm a supporter. I'm a believer. I've been Anthony Richardson fan since college, since calling his game.
Yeah, you're making up sources in the building now to say things that aren't real. So
that one will probably get me in trouble, but. And I know this, like Daniel Jones, listen, everything you hear about Daniel Jones, great teammate, hardest worker, puts it all, does everything the right way. So,
okay.
Fast.
Okay. Tough.
Yeah, I mean, he's the anti whatever that was getting said about, that whole, I guess, situation last year. So
I think,
I don't know.
If
Anthony Richardson can't beat out Daniel Jones, let's be honest. If Anthony Richardson, in a very clear message from his organization, it is time to go, can't beat out Daniel Jones, then it's a miss on the draft pick.
Agreed. Hey, good luck out there, boys. Thank you to both of you. Good luck to both of you in your competitions. Now, there's been some quarterback moves during this free agency tendering period here, or whatever the fuck this has been, because actually free agency starts today at 4 o'clock. Connor has a question for you, Dano.
Yeah, Danny, always a pleasure. Gino to Vegas and Sam Darnold.
Wish I could share the message.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I missed what you said. No, please enlighten me.
No, go ahead. Vegas and
okay, all right, kind of a wuss move there, but yeah, then Darnold to Seattle. Obviously, Seattle, no DK, no Lockett. They're kind of going to look completely different as what they have in the past. And Geno down, reuniting with Pete Carroll, kind of a cool story as well. How do you feel about those two moves?
Yeah, the best, but also the worst.
Nice.
I'm super happy for Sam Darnold. Ecstatic for Sam Darnold. You're going to a very different situation. And that's my thing for Seattle is don't take Sam Darnold and pay him this money and think you're not going to have to add some pretty significant pieces in the next 6 weeks or so, and you're going to get the same results. Sam went from arguably the best situation quarterback-wise in the NFL, outside of maybe Philly, to one that is dire right now in Seattle. Yeah, I love JSN. Jackson Smith and Jigba's really starting to come on at the back end of last year. He's going to be a very, very good wide receiver. He had 2 really good wide receivers last year in Minnesota. 3 pretty good ones if you include Naylor. Hawkinson's a star. They don't have that star tight end in Seattle. And the offensive line was top 5, top 7 in the NFL, specifically when it came to their pass protection. That is not Seattle's offensive line. So while I'm ecstatic for Sam Darnold that he got his money, the situation is going to be very different unless some things get added to their offense. And my challenge to Seattle is you better add at least another starting wide receiver. At a minimum, you better kind of include a tight end that's a little bit more of a difference maker. An offensive line's got to get a lot better. Now, Clint Kubiak, their offensive coordinator, runs the same system. That should help the offensive line a little bit. But if you go back to the last 2 games of last year, the main thing was, Sam Darnold stinks. And then the main thing that I kind of was on board was like that offensive line got whooped. And that's kind of when he became a lesser player than he was last year. So I want to see what Seattle does. I'm not ready to sit there and say we're going to get repeat performance by Sam unless things change. I like Geno in Las Vegas. Brock Bowers really good. I think Las Vegas has okay receivers. Like I'm a big Jacoby Myers guy. But they're going to have to add some pieces as well. Offensive line is a little bit better than I think the play at quarterback made you think. Geno was fantastic last year with a bad offensive line, but they need to add some pieces. I love the fact that he's with Chip Kelly. They need another starting offensive lineman or 2, but I think Geno gives this team the chance to just compete in games on a week-to-week basis for now.
Yeah, I like Geno's competitive spirit, and especially with the journey he's been on. Maybe Danny Dimes has a similar one, but, with Geno, the way he's kind of got to this point, I respect. And the fact he turned down that deal with Seattle to go to Las Vegas to rejoin Pete Carroll and his mission, and Chip Kelly over there as offense coordinator, and Tom Brady seemingly on a day-to-day basis, a phone call away, because I think he's all in. Great scene for Geno Smith.
Yep.
Back to the same.
Yeah, the thing I'd say about that real quick, though, Pat, also is just because he's there doesn't mean they shouldn't draft a quarterback if they like one in the first round. They absolutely should.
We think that with most of these teams, too. Like Giants, even if they get a vet, they should probably, if they like a guy, they should draft a guy and do the whole, at least give him a year to learn under, which, Minnesota could do with J.J. McCarthy yet again because he wasn't maybe in the building as much last year because he was hurt. But, hey, don't want to stall any growth, especially with what we're hearing about J.J. What we're hearing about J.J. is guy.
Start the clock.
This is a guy, is what everybody has been telling us. I can't wait to watch it. The draft is going to be fascinating. On that note, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, I do, Dan. Besides Shador and Cam Ward, is the number 3 quarterback, whoever you think that is, do you think they are worthy to be drafted in the first round?
Oh, absolutely. I still think Cam Ward's going to go number 1. If I was Tennessee, that would be an easy choice for me right now. I think number 2 probably ends up being Shador Sanders somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I'd be surprised if he got outside that top 10 world. I think that 3rd quarterback is more than likely going to be Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart gets out of the first round. I watched Jackson Dart's tape, and I go, what am I missing? I actually DM'd Lane Kiffin. He hasn't gotten back to me, but I said, what am I missing about Jackson Dart? Because I think runner and athlete-wise, he reminds me a little bit of Jalen Hurts. He makes some throws on tape. You're like, this is big-time football. Now, the pushback the hesitation that you have is there's 2 games late one against Kentucky and one against Florida where he makes 2 or 3 decisions like, dude, what are you doing with the football in that moment? So I don't love that, but those are conversations you have to have throughout the process with these guys. But I'm a fan of Jackson Dart. I don't think he gets out of the first round. I texted Field Yates. I don't think he gets to the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 20 or 21.
Wow.
I just don't. When you watch the Georgia game, he's unbelievable in the Georgia game. And he throws the ball downfield as well as any quarterback in this draft. He's super confident with what he's looking at. And a lot of people continue, and I haven't watched him yet, and I'm going to, but a lot of people are talking about the Tyler Shuck player out of Louisville. Yeah. I can't make a comment on him because I haven't watched him, but I think those three guys are first rounders for sure. I don't think Jackson Dart gets out of round one now.
Let's talk about Jackson too, because he was out with the boys on Halloween. Mm-hmm. Remember, out with the boys on Halloween, everybody was mad at him, and they went for like 400 yards 3 days later. And I think the boys love him. Like, I think Jackson Dart is beloved by his team. Obviously, he's in a Lane Kiffin offense, so there is a lot of explosion and everything like that. He's been able to handle all of it. Ole Miss not in the conversation during the playoffs, so everybody kind of forgot about Jackson, I think. All these guys on primetime TV, you get a little bit more convo. Cam and Shador also not in there, but they are literally vlogging the entire process. So Jackson Dart kind of disappeared from the conversation, and then once people start pointing out, like, hey, Jackson's beloved by people, then you start showing the highlights. It's like, why not? Why not Jackson Dart?
To Dan's point, too, which hurts him just in the public eye. That Florida game, I think it was 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter when, if they win that game, they're in the playoff. And that Kentucky game, they were both national games where it just didn't look good in the fourth quarter. So I think that, that kind of put a sour taste.
It was like, Tone, it was like the final drive as well. Where and the weird thing is, in both of those games, he plays really well. And then he gets to the final drive, and he makes 2 or 3 just outrageously boneheaded decisions. And everyone will go, well, that's a bad sign or a red flag, or is he panicking with the football? But then there's so much other evidence of him not doing that. And that's why I think, like, I've said this. I remember talking about Will Levis in this way when you would go, I want to have the conversation and sit there and ask him, what the heck were you thinking in this stuff? Because maybe he thought something different or saw something different that you just get the explanation of understanding why they're thinking. But I think as a runner, he's a lot like Jalen Hurts, man. And as a thrower, he pushes the ball downfield so well. I'm a big fan of his. I honestly think he's close to quarterback 2 for some people.
In the entire draft, you're saying, over instead of the Cam Shador conversation that's currently taking place?
I absolutely think he is going to be quarterback 2 for some people.
Well, all you need is one team to think anything. One team think he's quarterback 1, and you could go.
What about the offensive style? Coming from that Lane Kiffin Ole Miss system, and then going into the NFL, because like Cam Shador, even Quinn, for more pro style offense. Would you have any concerns about that when
you watch Shador's offense, D-Butt?
Yeah.
Heavenly Father. Oh my gosh, man! Shador's offense tough to watch, man. I don't mind the Lane Kiffin offense. I think one, you take a ton of reps of seeing space and seeing how the field and coverage plays out. I think number 2, you're challenged to make really low percentage throws. So this isn't a dink and dunk offense. He's not kicking the ball to the perimeter on an outrageous basis, getting easy completions. Like, you're taking shots down the field. 3, they ran real concepts. I have so many examples of full progression reads or full field reads, a lot of RPOs, which, again, are part of the NFL. So I don't know how greased he is with protections. There's examples of I write down, you have no clue what protection is, but that's kind of the case for most of these kids right now. And so you got to, again, sit down and have the conversations with these players throughout this process of, tell me what you know about protections. I'll go back to last year with Jaden Daniels. If you watched Washington really ran one protection all season, slide protection, and Jaden just knew what the problem was. That's what allowed him to play so fast and kill the blitz. So I don't knock the Lane Kiffin offense for him. Shador's offense for me is way harder to understand. I would tell you, I don't want to make this number up. I would tell you at least 50% of Shador's completions or throws are at the line of scrimmage. Just screen or RPO or right now. And then 25% of his passes are terrible pass protection, and you're going, well, there's nothing anybody can do. And so there's a small group of plays that you really can try to, for me, gather a fair evaluation of Shador. There's a lot that Shador does really well. I just think it's tough because you're either asking him not to do anything, or there's no chance for him to do anything. And I think that's why, for some people, they might get hung up on Shador as a tough kind of evaluation.
Well, he's definitely tough. I think that is something he proved with that offensive line that you chatted about. Let's talk about Cam Ward now. Cam and Shador obviously training together as we bunch of highlights there. Shador spinning it all over the place. Him and Cam,
really good player.
You like Cam Ward a lot, right?
Yeah, I think Cam Ward's the number one pick, and it's clear to be the number one pick. I've said this. I think the thing that surprised me more about Cam Ward than I anticipated was how well he throws the ball from the pocket. I mean, there are so many examples where that ball, he hits his back foot on the ground, and that thing jumps out of his hand. And it's an absolute rip. And the ball downfield, I mean, he throws the seam ball as good as anybody. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Jaden threw the crosser really well, but throwing the ball in between the hash, he absolutely steps on the football and rips it. And so it's clear to me that he's the number one pick. It reminds me a little bit, ironically, of Steve McNair coming out of school and just his style. He's not an electric athlete. He's not a dynamic athlete, but he's athletic enough. And I wish he was an inch or two taller, but Cam Ward, clear number one pick. If I was Tennessee, I would not trade out of the pick.
Tennessee Titans need a quarterback. Cam Ward is the quarterback they should take, says Dan Orlovsky. And Dan ain't stinky with that one. Dan ain't stinky. Dan, you ain't stinky, Dan. Only a few will hunt.
I'm trying to see my Cam Ward notes. My Cam Ward pros. My pluses about Cam Ward. Doesn't get fooled post-snap. Ball jumps off of his hands. It looks like he's thrown off a trampoline. He does not hesitate. He got a quick trigger. He does not force the football, which again, a little bit surprising for a guy that I guess is ultra aggressive. That's a sick throw. Ultra aggressive and kind of a playmaker. I think he's really strong in the pocket with his feet and his eyes tied together. There's plays where he has examples of controlling the line of scrimmage, changing some protection, changing some plays, seams, middle of field, RPOs. There's multiple times where he takes over in the fourth quarter, and you're like, yeah, best player. This throws nuts. Just pin it on his chest. Super accurate with the ball. I think he makes you hold your breath at times, because you're like, oh, gosh, what are you doing? I don't have a lot of cons.
Did you write, honestly, oh, gosh, what are you doing in your notes?
No, I just
that was ad-lib there. Okay, you went off the prompter. Got it. I like that.
And honestly, I would tell you for both these guys as well, both Cam and Shador, they got to get some receivers that can catch the ball a little bit more. And so there's moments where your Cam's tape, I go, why are you forcing the ball to Restrepo? And then you watch, you're like, yep, I know why you're forcing the ball to Restrepo. And the same with Shador, why are you just only looking at Travis? Yep, I know why you're only looking at Travis. So doesn't have a blitz plan, but again, that's the case for so many of these kids coming out of college. So, and he's an average athlete, but I'm a big fan of him.
He's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
Lot of football. Obviously, at different levels. Incarnate Ward over there to Washington State, all the way through Miami in that ACC run they had. And it feels like if you watch them last year with Miami, football gods love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Football gods absolutely love them.
For this game.
I mean, this is where it all started, I think. This was
it was
when the magical run kind of all started with Virginia Tech, because Virginia Tech had 20 returning starters. This is going to be the tough one. And then there's a Hail Mary full of grace that connects, and then a couple weeks later there's a fumble. There's just so many things that went their way this year, except for the Syracuse game, obviously, at the end. But feels like the football gods like Cam Ward as well. You do? Okay, congrats to the Titans. They got a guy.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, Titans.
Sounds like the Titans got a guy. On that note, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Dan, when you look around the NFL, which quarterback do you think is primed to kind of take that next jump up this next year? And do you see either one of the guys getting drafted? Could they have a season like Jaden Daniels did this past year potentially?
There's two guys in the league right now that I think will, and have no reason not to. No excuse not to. So in the draft, I'll touch that real quickly. I think Tennessee needs another receiver outside of Calvin, so that their offensive line should play better. I want to see them add another receiver. The Giants are intriguing because of Dable. We'll see if they do it. The same with Cleveland. The Jets, Raiders. So I want to. The only one I feel really confident about right now is Cam, as far as where he's going to get selected. I think the two guys that, like, one more so than the other, don't have any more excuses. So one, Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville. I like what Jacksonville has done. Go back to the addition of Liam Cohen and bringing him and what he has done immediately for Baker Mayfield, or did for Baker Mayfield. This is Brian Thomas Jr. is absolutely fantastic. We've talked about it. America probably didn't get the opportunity to see him a ton. He's a superstar in the making at the wide receiver position. Gabe Davis is there. So I like a lot of what Jacksonville has done. It's time for Trevor to take a big leap. It really is. Like, you're too talented of a player. I know it maybe hasn't been the most ideal situation for you at the start of your NFL career. And there was a moment with Doug Peterson where it was trending that way and it didn't. It's time to take the jump. There's all the pieces in place for you to become what you were expected to become at that number one pick. The second one would be Caleb. You know, Chicago's had a fantastic offseason. Gets the hottest offensive mind in football over the last maybe 10 years since Sean McVay got the job. Offensive line additions, interior, all those guys know this system. Tooney knows it. Drew Dahlman knows it. Jonah Jackson knows it. So the plug and play ability and, you know, the understanding of you're going to get protected. I think the biggest challenge for Caleb is trusting that the play call and the offensive line are actually going to do what that you're telling me as a player it's going to do. Because I do think there are moments where he didn't have that last year. I know what you're telling me on paper. You're going to protect me and this and that. I don't trust you. I don't trust the guys in front of me. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing is Caleb getting to that point where he actually, when coach calls the play to get the ball to your hands, just get the ball to your hands. We're not asking for you to hit a home run here. We just want a completion. Or when the defense tells you you're not getting the home run, get the ball to your hands. Quick, okay? And then when we take our shot, we take our shot. And if it's there, let's take it. And so finding the balance for him there, I think, is the big challenge. But, you know, with DJ still there and the tight end group that they have, the back group that they have, the scheme, the offensive line, I expect Caleb to take a big jump. I was one that was hesitant when the marriage of Ben Johnson and Caleb came together. There is a part of me that still is because I want to see Caleb do it in time. And everyone talks about, well, look what he did with Jared Goff. For all you people out there that say that, Jared's really freaking talented now. I mean, Jared.
He used to be Goff. Now he's the guy.
Yeah.
Now they're chanting Jared Goff. Jared Goff. That's all they chant in Detroit. That is their chant up there. And to your point, what I think you're about to say is Jared Goff plays in timing. Like, that is what he does. Like, that he is a...
He grew up, he was trained by Sean McVay. That's the basis of the offense. He was trained in it. And so when you're trained in it early on, it becomes muscle memory. It becomes second nature. It's a habit. Caleb doesn't have that. So it might take some time. I've said this. Is he capable of it? Absolutely. But you got to go have that be a staple of your game. But, and I think for him as well, as much as you want him to take the jump, I really attach Rome Odunze taking a jump as well, because to get this offense pass game wise to where you want it, those two receivers would be a big part.
Yeah, and a lot of great points there. You didn't bring up Bryce Young. Fascinating. Bryce Young in the same boat.
I want to see the Matt Whiteout still.
Okay. Bryce Young in the same boat of Caleb, though, I think didn't really trust offensive line for a while. Whitworth brought up whenever Tooney gets sent to Chicago Bears, Tooney can look at Caleb middle of the game and be like, hey, we got you here. Like, that's the type of thing that an OG offensive lineman can do that can hopefully build up a little bit of trust in that. Because if you don't have faith in your offensive line, and I know this as a punter, if you don't have faith in the person blocking for you, you're not thinking about executing. You're thinking about whether or not you're going to die. Like, that is literally all you're thinking about. So, like, survival is the thought as opposed to making a play. That can affect people. That can certainly affect people. And that's all the defense is trying to do. They're trying to get him to get his head down and make him get his eyes down, just trying to make him think about it so he can't do everything else. Caleb had a lot of that.
Number one's not there, take off. Number one's not, instead of going, all right, just number two, number three, all right, cool, ball comes out of my hand. And you're totally right. If you don't have that as a quarterback, you don't. I'm not worried about the execution. I'm just worried about something bad not happening.
Yeah, and that's why you see the running in the spring. Every preseason, and I obviously don't have every snap like quarterbacks do. Every preseason when we go out to punt, and we got 2 McDonald's workers and an insurance guy blocking for me, and it's a lot easier to run and block a punt than it is to block for a punt, especially if you haven't done that. The only thing that's going through my head is we are catching and getting this. I mean, it is just bang. We are out of here.
Never even thought about that.
So it's a fucking nightmare. I got front flipped on Hard Knocks. Cincinnati Bengals. Guy comes around the edge on the insurance salesman, I think, and boom, flips me. I do a full front flip land. I take a front flip bump on my back on slow motion in Hard Knocks. Fucking the guy made the team because he blocked the punt. I'm like, good for you, buddy.
Son of a bitch.
Good for you. What a nightmare. Cincinnati Bengals was always the 4th preseason game. That was the worst. I didn't sleep the night before.
Oh yeah, that boy. That's one of the first things we look at too as defense is like, is the quarterback watching a rush. Now, Caleb's not a guy that's a statue quarterback, but are you watching the rush? Do you trust the protection? And talking to AQ and other centers that's been around, they say it's a very small group of quarterbacks that actually control things at the line of scrimmage. And when you control it, I guess you can trust it more when you really understand it.
Go ahead, Dano.
Yeah, and if you guys going back to the college kids, and I think this is why these guys, you got to spend time talking with them. If you had to ask me what would be the number one complaint I have about Shedeur, is I think sometimes he predetermines looking at the rush to get away. And easy to say, hard to do, because the offensive line is so poor in protection. But there's plays when you sit there and go, you're just looking at the rush. You're not even trying to get the ball to your hands and just hoping to create or go make something happen or create some space, because there are moments when you watch him in the pocket, you're like, man, that's such good pocket operational space movement. And you're finding that little small pocket where you get to throw the football to or from, and it's awesome. And then there's clips where you're just catching the snap, looking at the rush immediately and going, okay, where's the opening? And I think that's a real thing. And I think that's something that as a team, you got to sit down and watch film with him. Like if I was watching film with Shedeur, I would be like, why did you do it there? Like, tell me what went through your mind, because I watch you get the snap. You might look one way and then immediately you almost get into that shortstop athletic position of, okay, where am I moving to, instead of trying to find an over or an in or a check down. And so to D-Butt's point, I think that's something as a defense you're watching tape and going, this happens far more than I actually like it to happen. And I think that's got to be a conversation that gets had when you're evaluating him.
Shedeur giving an answer. Well, what you didn't see here is the previous 6 plays.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got sawed in half. Yeah.
He did an interview where he talked about his weakness was he tried playing hero ball way too much, and I don't know if he was referencing what Dan was talking about there, but I think he knows his weakness is what he had to do in college.
I'm excited to watch Shedeur as a pro, because it feels like his entire life they've been making him a professional football player. Like that is, I feel like I've watched it, first of all, on socials and everything like that. And I think he's going to, whenever he gets to his home, wherever it is, I think he's going to do just fine. Same with Cam Ward. Work ethic, you got a work ethic, you can figure it all out. If you don't, you're just going to continue to be crap. So let's just work. Let's restore the dignity of hard work.
Hell yeah.
I respect the hell out of that. Thank you, Dano.
All right, boys.
What are you doing today?
Shooting hoop.
I got to go drop off lunch. My wife runs the book fair at school. So she sets the book fair up. She loves it too. Like it's like a way of life for her. So she decorates she has a theme and she decorates the whole library. It's nuts how good this girl is at this stuff too.
That is very cool of her. As long as you're not doing this ever again, we'll be okay. Yeah, you embarrassed all of us, buddy.
Why? I made all of them.
Yeah, 4 hours later, bro.
Bro, that high shot is so high.
Yeah, I watched.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the first of many. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky. Thank you, Dano. All right, hour 2 will be on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight we have a straight to hell match in which the devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now. And now we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Boston. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Boston.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic straight to hell!
I do not want to go
Good
to
God,
hell!
no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
No!
The Easter Bunny He's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift. Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down.
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh wait, he's tuning up the bed! The devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
He shuts the casket!
And
Back to
that's
hell! The devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
it! With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW championship. Hello, beautiful people. I am here to tell you that I have a massive announcement to make about a great time that is on the horizon. A show that is unprecedented, incomparable, a show that has no equal, a big night out. He's coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the PPG Paints Arena on Wednesday, April 9th. There will be massive surprises. There will be big-time sing-alongs, hella laughs, and over $1 million will be given away inside of that arena. Give me a hell yeah! Tickets will go on sale Thursday. It'll cost as little as $20 to get in the door. No ticket will cost more than $100. It's gonna be a night that you remember forever. And you might even see this guy. All right, Cole, get out, please. And many others. I can't wait to see you at a big night out.
Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. That was for me. That was for me.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this happy birthday, NFL. Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football! It is wonderful. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. It's not just football, although we are in the middle of the NFL's new league year beginning at 4 o'clock today and the free agency period officially launching at 4 o'clock today. There's also a lot of other sports happening, and we will certainly be covering it all. You know, because last night, Tyrese Haliburton became Tyrese Halibig Buckets. He became Tyrese Haliball game with a 4-point play to beat the Milwaukee Bucs. He'll be joining us in about 5 minutes to chit-chat about this. What a moment, what a time. He knows he's in the middle of the season, okay? There's still a lot more to do. But whenever you have a moment like this, you got to celebrate it. We will certainly try to remind him of that here in a matter of moments. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Whenever the hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, ball cap Tone is here. Sweet cap Tone.
Thank you.
It's a sweet cat.
It's a sweet
March. Need a little bit of the luck of the Irish this week for the Steelers. So
because you guys don't have a quarterback.
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's
Around
Day,
the
Right around corner, March 17th. What a
12.
time. It's Tim McAfee's will be calling off. He's getting all ready.
Sure.
He's getting ready to just go ahead and slaughter some green beers.
Good move.
Yeah, he's going to do it, as he should.
Monday.
He used to do that. I think I'll certainly have a green beer or two this weekend.
Sure.
Have to.
Sláinte, with the lads, with the Irish people, give it a little bit of love. Not what we used to do, though. We really used to do it. Like, St. Patrick's Day used to be one of the ones. I think, Christmas was obviously big. Halloween was big.
Night before Thanksgiving.
We didn't do that much. I never really did that. With New Year's, obviously. St. Patrick's Day was the one. That thing started at like 8 a.m.
4th of July.
Yeah, 4th.
4th of July is a good one, yeah. St. Patty's Day, though, kegs and eggs, 8 a.m. start. Just by noon, you're at the nightclub that you're normally at about 2, 3 a.m., and they're open in Pittsburgh, and you're right in the middle of it. I mean, you walk outside, there's like sun, and it's like, what the hell's going on? Then you go back into another place, and you start hammering more alcohol. And by 5 or 6 o'clock, it's over. That's all she wrote. You go take a 3-hour, 4-hour nap, and then guess what? Well, we got nighttime St. Patrick's Day now. And you almost come out of the cave. People thought you were down, but instead you move the rock and you show back up at those bars and at those clubs and say, "Happy St. Patrick's Day. Are we doing this or not?" And nobody that was there in the morning is there anymore. So you really feel like a survivor. You feel like you're one of the guys that have made it. And then if you see somebody that you were potentially hammered drunk with like 11, 12 hours beforehand and they're out, there's a moment of,
We did it.
good for you.
Yeah.
Still
Congrats.
We did it.
Still Brady.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Inevitably, March 18th, horrendous day.
Sure.
Like one of the worst of all time. But happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And I love the hat that you got on. Now, 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here.
March 18th is actually the greatest day ever.
Really?
Specifically, 1986.
Happy birthday, D-Bush.
Say your birthday.
It is.
Wait, you have the same birthday?
I didn't know that I was celebrating. I didn't know I was celebrating your birthday.
You were.
Every
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly. You probably brought in most of my birthdays probably blackout.
No! We're just having a good time.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Just having a good time in the name of Darius J. Butler.
Hell yeah.
Joining us now live from Manatee, Ohio, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
AJ.
Okay! Still got the yarmulke look. I don't know if there was a lighting different.
Maybe that's my look now.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, all good, by the way. Mazel, bro. Shalom.
Yeah, thank you very much. I agree. St. Patty's Day is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the ones. Especially if you're in a place where it's celebrated. Pittsburgh, absurd. Yeah. They always say like Georgia, somewhere in Georgia.
Savannah.
Georgia is always big. Chicago. They
South
do
Boston.
River.
Yeah. How is Boston? I assume that's a pretty
incredible.
good one.
Actually, usually what they'll do too, and maybe this just happens by chance, but I remember when I was in high school and a couple of years out of high school, the St. Patrick's Day parade through South Boston was also with the state championship in hockey. So a lot of people, you go in the morning, make your way through South Boston as the parade's going, everything incredible, and then you go to the Garden because that's where the hockey games are going on all throughout the day. And usually those are very big games. Everybody knows what's going on.
We don't have to mention any names, but we got one of our guys out of jail at about 5:30 a.m. on St. Patrick's Day.
I think I know who.
And then we went straight from the jail straight to downtown and slept in the car in the parking garage for about 40 minutes or so. Then we opened the trunk, which there was a keg that was potentially taken from somebody else's house. Sure. And we just went ahead. And,
Do I know this guy?
Oh yeah, you certainly do.
I think he was in here.
You certainly do. I was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I was potentially with person whenever they got arrested, and that was a wild time to be alive.
You know that guy.
Then I was almost put in the position of like, I'm pretty boozed up right now, but we got to get old buddy out because we got big St. Patrick's Day coming up here in about 4 or 5 hours.
Well,
so we obviously pulled some strings, made some things happen. We go straight from the jail, straight down to a parking garage, straight into tapping the keg in the trunk, straight into, we're all having a good time here, aren't we? Yes, we are. Walking past police officers just moments before we're in jail, obviously publicly intoxicated, having a great time. Good to see you guys. Sláinte. Then we kept it moving. Inevitably, that case would get dropped, I believe, against person. It was all bullshit.
Nice.
Like we've been saying this entire time.
Yeah, that's a win. Wasn't that when Joe Hadley of Joe Hadley Washing Windows and Sons killed that homeless guy?
No, yeah, see, these are all lies.
That was a different one.
Hadley was not in jail, and I don't think he ever has been, actually. He's a good lad. And if you do need your windows cleaned in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you call Joe Hadley.
Yes.
And I wish I had his business's number right now because we would say it, and he would be so fucking mad. I'm already booked. I don't need people calling me. What do you got? Every time you say my name, my fucking people start calling me. They want their windows clean. I don't want to clean your windows. I already got enough windows to clean. Joining us now. Oh, there it is right there. We found the website. It is. No, I'm not going to do it. You'll be so mad. See you on April 9th. Haddle Bags and everybody else back in Pittsburgh. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who stole the evening last night with a spectacular 4-point play to beat the Milwaukee Bucs here in Indianapolis, Indiana. He was wearing a fresh pair of D-Generation X Pumas whenever he made the absurd play, and now he joins us. Ladies and gentlemen, Olympic gold medalist from Iowa State, dog, Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah, Tyrese.
How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. The intro gets better every time.
Well, especially whenever you do the shit you do last night. Hey, let's run through the play real quick. So we run a tunnel screen here, okay? We're going to run a little pick and skim. You're coming around. I heard in a press conference you said you wanted to start on the other side, and you rarely get the ball in this play. Feels like this play was made for you to get the rock. Can you go through it, kind of step by step here? And at what moment, when did you know that was falling? As soon as it comes off the hand?
Yeah, it felt good when it left my hands. I had a lot of in and outs last night, so when I let that one go, it felt good. But we call this Colts, I believe, and it's an end of the game package for us, and it's like a rub. What do they call that in football? It's like a rub route.
Yep. Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so typically when we run this, I'm always denied. Like whoever's guarding the ball denies me, or turns around and sees me and takes me away. So I was trying to get on the other side, so we threw it to the opposite corner, kind of as like a lead, like a fade, lead me all the way to the other corner and let me shoot it that way. But just Aaron and Miles did a great job of kind of picking my guy off there, and just made the shot.
Had to feel pretty cool. I mean, as the ball is falling and you have Giannis in your face, he's 6 foot 9,
7 feet.
Yeah.
7 foot tall in your face doing this right in front of what's the coach?
Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham. The pictures of him with his hands in his pocket still, and Lillard obviously sitting there. Just so many magical, memeable moments out of this. And the Pacers, they posted a photo of you while you're shooting it with Giannis, and it said "Yes, sirs" on it. There is posters galore in there. But as soon as that falls, you immediately know, okay, I got to knock down a free throw. Is that the immediate thought, or what is kind of the mindset after it goes in?
Well, when they challenged it, I didn't know. I mean, I was hoping that it was a 3. I was hoping that I didn't step on the line. And then they confirmed with me right away that it was a 3. So now I was thinking, the game being on national TV, people might appreciate some overtime. So I thought for sure they were going to wave that foul off. Then once they said, that was a foul, all I was thinking about was making the free throw. I know what it's like to be I thought it was like an ice kicker for a little bit right there. But I haven't missed a free throw since All-Star, knock on wood.
Okay, we will knock on wood. Should not have chatted about it. I respect. If we're going to talk about kickers, that would be something we would definitely not mention, but I respect the confidence, and you've put in the work to feel that way. Yeah, they reviewed it for what seemingly was 10 minutes. I was watching it, and I'm like, this guy's just standing over there, and I think Reggie even brought up they're icing Tyrese right now. You stepped up, knocked it home.
I love it.
No problem. I love everything about it.
More TV time, bro.
Who, Reggie or Tyrese?
Tyrese.
Yeah, you were flexing a little bit, too. You're doing a little standing around, I saw you. You should have done a little bit more with the shoes. Hey, great night for the DX Pumas, pal.
I should have hit the chop. I don't know why I didn't hit the chop. I was too caught up in the moment. That's on me. I got to be better there.
Good Sally.
Yeah, but I heard you say that, you would have been fined $25,000 or something if you would have told him, suck it over there on the sideline. Is that accurate?
Probably. I would have called Triple H, asked them to look out for me or something. I would have, good WWE marketing probably.
This is the NBA that we're talking about. These guys get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. They get fined $25,000. They're calling Triple H and me.
Yeah, he could have
yeah.
Sell a sweater or something.
Yeah, I mean, sell a watch.
Yeah, sell all the clothes that you wear.
That jacket, that big poofy leather jacket, that's $29,000.
That's worth about 4 or 5.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go. It's not that much.
How about this? This fit right here.
I like that.
This guy's wearing $40,000, walking in the building.
There's no way it was $40,000, but
bag of peanuts.
I've seen some good memes about this. Typically my outfits always get memed. One of them was when you go. So one of them was when you go to your boy's wedding, and then this is when you the night after, and all you have is your dress shoes.
Yep. Yeah.
You leave like this.
Good fit, though.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was
That was a good one.
Well, yeah, your outfits, costumes get memed because you always look great. You know, this is exactly what I would wear if I was heading over to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, talk about the game in winning that. That's big, right? That's a big win for the Pacers last night. Last night was obviously a national TV game, but that's a huge game for you guys. And coming off a 3-game schneid, you come back for your first game after missing a few last night, get a win. Where are we sitting at now, and what does the rest of the season look like for the Pacers? Can I be talking shit openly to everybody about us winning this thing?
Well, you always could do that, Pat. Of course.
Okay.
We are tied with Milwaukee and Detroit. Or we have the tiebreaker over Detroit. We're tied with Milwaukee for the 4 seed. Okay. And we have a back-to-back coming up with Philly and Milwaukee, and the winner of that game on Saturday, I want to say. Yeah, in Milwaukee, we'll have the tiebreaker for the 4 seed. But it's tightly contested there between 4 to 6, so these next 18 games are really important.
Okay, so that's how many we got left, 18, obviously. Can't wait to make it out to one of these games to watch, the Pacers show in life before the playoffs, because whenever we get in the playoffs, we know that the Pacers are about to run it, okay? Mm-hmm. And look out to the Eastern Conference, because there's a freight train coming through, and it's hitting jumping, sideways, fading threes to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. That's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Tyrese, I'm curious, how many times have you practiced a shot like that? And I don't think casual fans have any idea how difficult of a shot that would be, even on air, let alone with Giannis in your face fouling you. But how many times have you practiced something like this?
Well, this shot specifically, I honestly speaking, we put this in 2 years ago. I haven't made this shot in probably 2 years. Well, I haven't got the ball to make it in 2 years. But I don't know. I feel like over the course of your career, of course, being a basketball player, you imagine shooting so many different shots and different angles and stuff like that. So in this play, I'm not even thinking about. It's not. This isn't a shot like, I practiced this so many times. No, this is just basketball feel and having confidence that I could make any shot in that moment.
You said you had a lot of rim out. You weren't the only one. It felt like all the boys were. But every time I looked at the score, you guys were in the lead or battling. Feels like you got a good squad, legit. And how do you feel about Carlisle and the boys?
Yeah, we feel good. This was obviously a good diagram play here. I feel like we missed a lot of open looks last night. That happens over the course of a season. You can't control every make, every miss. But I feel like our processes worked really well, and feel really confident about the way our offense has looked, since All-Star break and throughout the course of the year. So, I'm definitely excited about what the rest of the year has for us, and looking forward to competing in the playoffs here soon.
You did that thing again where you just shifted the gear with your voice box. You're like, I'm gonna have a different fucking voice.
I didn't. That wasn't intentional. That just happened.
I know. You're back. We're coming back.
Wow, not like Towns.
Downshift a little bit there. It is wonderful. Darius has a question for you, Tyree.
Yeah, you were talking about playoff basketball, and you guys are, everybody in the NBA right now, kind of making that push. I know I'm a guy who really locks in the NBA post All-Star break. What's it like in between those lines as far as the intensity, and how does it step up post All-Star break, making this late push, and then into the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I think over the course, it was a little different in football. Probably you guys are probably looking at the standings the majority of the year because there's only 16, 17 games. But in basketball, it's hard to, you want to know where you are, but I would say seeding and stuff like that really isn't impacted until the last 20 games. You're right there in contention with everybody, and then it's about tiebreakers and stuff like that. I feel like that's what you pay more attention to through the course of the year, right? When you play a team 3 times. By that third game, it's important, you want to get that tiebreaker because you never know where everybody could end up in the end. So after All-Star break, it's really about, locking in and just, I don't know, the intensity really picks up because, we played Milwaukee. This is our 3rd time playing them. And I would say the intensity behind this game was much higher than the first 2. I'm assuming that this weekend will be obviously even more important. It sets up a pretty good, pretty big game, because, we've been neck and neck pretty much all year. And, we're looking for it's looking like a crash course that we're going to play each other in that 4 or 5 game. Don't want to take away from what Detroit is doing because they're looking really good as well. They could be right there with both of us. But, you want to be that 4 seed because you want that home court advantage in that first round.
Feels like the NBA is doing this, brother, right now. Feels like everything, like the vibes, conversation. you hit a shot like that on a Tuesday, like that's happening on a regular basis. It feels like the NBA is in a good spot. Remember last time we talked to you, we thought dead. Remember?
Oh, big time.
Thought the NBA was dead. You remember? I was even telling you that. Instead, it feels like the lads are chatting a little bit more. We're learning more. The game's getting better. Teams are getting more interesting. It feels like it's a good time in the NBA. Do you guys feel that right now or no?
Yeah. I mean, us in our league, we never feel like it's dead. I mean, I hear what you guys are saying. We obviously all talk a lot, so I hear the opinions of the team. But I think as we get to playoff time, I think that's when everybody really locks in. Everybody's engaged. More storylines, more rivalries, all that stuff is created, and maybe a little bit more drama, which I think all sports fans appreciate. So I think we're in a good time right now as we get here in the playoff time.
Did you hear Rich Paul say he's a vegan to it all?
Yeah.
Stays away from all the
Smart.
beef.
Yeah, he does.
Don't like all drama. Speaking of, we got Shaquille O'Neal joining us in about an hour. Excited to chat about his thoughts on the current state of the game. That should be fun. That should be a blast. I'll ask him about your big shot last night. I saw him react to it in real time. Now he's gotten a chance to kind of digest it for about 14 hours, what his thoughts are. Shot of the year, people are saying, Tyrese. Shot of the year happening last night. Felt like the place was packed out too, right? Good vibes last night?
Yeah, it was definitely packed in there. I think obviously our fans love, we love when we get national TV games, because in the past couple of years we haven't really had that opportunity. So I think as a fan base, as a team, we try to take advantage when we get that opportunity. And, you play Milwaukee, right? Like that's a team who there's obviously a little bit of a history with both of us. So I feel like the fans are all part of it, and that's what makes our league great.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was an awesome experience. I should have been there. I was supposed to go. Couldn't go.
We're supposed to go. My mom, my mom, she's in charge of the tickets. So this is maybe the fourth or fifth time I said, "Hey, Mom, I think you got to hold 2 for Pat." And she goes, Why? He never comes anyway.
Whoa!
That's what Mom said. So she's gonna give you some shit when you finally do come. She's gonna be like, "Hey, I always hold these tickets for no reason."
Well, let's tell Mom, okay, that I appreciate that. I understand the passion that she has for it, and watching a game alongside of her is an honor. She's in there. She's a great fan. She's very well loved by everybody too. They kind of know who she is. With that being said, Mom, I got a lot going on. I got a 2-year-old. Wife and I got a 2-year-old. It's not as easy as just we're going to go on Tuesday downtown and watch the game. There's a lot that goes into it. You'll experience this, okay? And
well, I have your back. I have your back in these conversations, of course, because I know you got a lot going on. But Mom thinks the world revolves around the Pacers. So
I need to let Mom know. I apologize for that. I can't wait to watch the game. I'll see her soon. I will see her soon.
Yes.
And then obviously the lady, I saw her last night. Jade was down there. A lot of comments about what you were going to do last night. I did appreciate seeing you just go and see your lady and just have a nice little night in Indiana. Right?
Yes, sir. Came back, watched Paradise. Good show, by the way.
People love it.
I've heard it is great.
Great show. I'm on episode 7. Great show.
Oh, brother.
Great show.
Was it snowing in there, or was it? Is it a? They said that is normally the what do they say?
Who's in it?
Was there all white people in there? Or what is the
show?
The Paradise.
No.
What's wrong with you?
Thank God's black.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. They're just talking about what.
Are you okay?
They're saying what Tyrese normally does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Hey, D-Butt, did they tell you when I went to the combine they gave me the D-Butt name tag?
Credential.
I said, why did I get the D-Butt?
That's not real. Debo wasn't there. Debo wasn't there. It was either D-Butt or D-Bone,
It's Indy. Hospitality.
It was either him or D-Bone. And to be honest, the D-Bone one was on its way, but we thought it was disrespect. Because if you see the D-Bone one, I think you would have,
Louis Elastic?
Yeah.
I mean, Lombo got it with mine, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, that's all. Exactly. Lombardi came in with Anthony DeJulios. No reason other than it was available at the time. People need to remember that. Ty has a question for you, Tyrese.
Yeah, Tyrese, obviously it's a midweek game, regular season, but still, that's a big matchup. Hitting that shot, where does that rank in your career in terms of like big shots that you've hit?
I mean, probably. I'd probably say number 2 in terms of big shots because I hit a game winner against the Bucs last year in the playoffs as well. So probably right up there, top 2. I mean, what are the odds that we're really going to remember a regular season game 15 years from now? But hey, you never know.
I will remember.
hopefully we make more moments where that's not a top 5 moment. But currently, I'd probably put it number 2.
That's a big shot, dude. 4-point play to win a game, especially in playoff time. That is a
over Giannis too.
Over the Greek freak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's good at basketball.
That's a great shot with Dame standing on the sideline right in front of their bench. I mean, that's a great moment. We'll try to do that. Actually, we should probably get them
Yeah, you gotta get that blown up.
Blow it up. Yeah.
Put that on the ceiling, maybe a bedroom. You know.
On the ceiling.
Yeah, so you can see yourself all the time.
Well, that's where he's got his mirror. That's where he's got his mirrors.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming. I knew that joke.
Cody Rhodes mural.
We don't know. Yeah.
Mark.
Yo, Ty. By the way, I saw the Lisa Bluter bobblehead.
Yeah,
you broke it.
I know.
No, Colt Nichols broke.
I didn't touch the goddamn thing. We had a
But that's how it was supposed to.
What? Hey.
You made me bet my gold medal for that bobblehead. And
You're
still
sleeping at
have
the
it.
wheel, pal. I told you, hey, Lisa Bluter's yours. Take good care of it. And under your watch, under your stewardship, she gets broken in two. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I can send it to you in pieces.
Yeah, do you want the feet and the upper body? Do you want both pieces or just the what do you
I don't want it's broke now, so that's totally fine with me. Well, maybe we'll get you a new bobblehead of something. They got my bobblehead. I'll give you my bobblehead these days.
Okay.
Maybe my Iowa State one. That would be even better.
I don't know if the Ty's going to put that in front of him, but we will. We will definitely put it in. Well, I'll have you know, Coach Lisa Bluter told us she sent in another one.
She did.
I saw that on Twitter. That's good for the brand.
We'll see.
Not the tie, just to you.
We haven't got it yet, but we will be patiently
Supply
waiting
chain.
for Coach Bluter.
We'll see.
Logistics,
Yes,
they got the whole
Good
thing
tweet.
going
Good
on.
tweet.
Conman has a question for you, Tyree.
Yeah, Tyrese, one of those big shots could come against the Celtics, but you guys can't beat them when it matters. But do you guys have any big rivals this year?
What's this guy's problem?
I think last year you and the Bucs.
Connor, you thought that shit was funny?
I think last year you and the Bucs had some beef. Do you have any beef with any teams this year that maybe? I mean, I know the Knicks. There's that kind of fake beef because you did say you and Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson are all boys. But who's the team this year that the Pacers really hate?
I mean, Coach Carlisle says to beat teams you got to hate them. So
hell yeah.
I think it's whoever's in front of us. I think we're supposed to hate. I think obviously last year playing the Bucs and the Knicks in the playoffs, there's a little bit of a rivalry there, and then your Boston Celtics as well. They beat us in the playoffs, so
but Detroit this year, you guys haven't it?
Right. Yes, I guess that is a thing back in the league. They're trying to bring back the bad boys rivalry, right? The Malice rivalry.
Listen, I don't know who's trying to bring that back. You guys are, because aren't you guys getting a little?
No, I think the public might be trying to bring back the Malice rivalry, but I mean that's good for the league. I get it. My only thing is, I said this last year about the Bucs. I don't really consider it a rivalry until you get a playoff matchup. So if we play the Pistons in the playoffs, then I think you can say that the rivalry is back. But until then, I think it's just competing, and like I said, Coach says you got to hate him to beat him, so it's all part of it.
Carlisle, what a special guy.
Love that guy.
You imagine Tyrese in the stands just throwing haymakers at fans?
I could actually, especially Tyrese.
You couldn't imagine that.
Need more rivalries.
Maybe he's putting those Pumas, through people's faces.
Yeah, watch out for these Stu.
Sweet chin music to the pedigree.
Okay, it's going to be tough because if you connect on Sweet, you're going to have to pick them back up. You're going to have to Sweet Chin. You're going to.
But what if it's a big fella, big drunk fella? He doesn't go down.
So Isaiah Stewart.
What are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
You're a pretty big dude too, bub. So you're going to go.
I'm talking about big as in
Big
wide.
fat guy.
Oh, so a slob.
Wide guy, couple brewskis in him, probably not going down from the Sweet Chin music.
I think drunk fat has a button you could hit for sure. I think you could get their button.
Everybody has a button. Everybody has a button, by the way.
But if you're going to do a kick to the gut pedigree, then lift person up, then you can Sweet Chin them. Then I think you get the 1-2. Are these DX Pumas going to be for sale?
I think right now they're a player edition. They're just for me as of right now. But
really good from this company. We can't get.
Would be nice.
But I have a great relationship with the people at WWE, so we're having conversations. Hopefully, it's a collaboration opportunity in the future with some current, some past superstars. You guys know I'm a big WWE fan, so if I can do stuff with with DX, with Triple H, with the Final Boss, with he's with Under Armour. Now with the Final Boss. Oh, John Cena. I don't know what his nickname is right now as a bad guy, but whatever. That's the main one. That's the main one we want.
Okay. Whose side are you on here in this entire thing? I don't think we've talked.
I love good competition, so I'm with them. Cody's been great to me. We had a great conversation at the Rumble, but I mean, Cena's my guy, so
kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, that was a little reckless, but I think I fall somewhere in the middle. I'm probably leaning towards John, but if Cody wins, he's resilient. I respect it. He's had to fight past the whole bloodline to get to where he is today. So I'm sure the final boss and Cena aren't anything to him, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Ba-da-bang. 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 Ba-da-bang.
We're still going.
Okay, confirmed.
You didn't say it.
Not a coach.
You didn't say it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm supposed to say it? Hold on 1 second. I'll say it. Give me a second.
Yeah, go get your mark.
All right, I'm ready. Come on, look.
Ba-da-bang.
Again.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Right on time. Right on time. That was really good. Thank you for doing that.
That was better.
A title like that.
All right, congratulations, buddy. That was a big night last night. We can't wait to watch the Pacers finish out the season strong and then playoff basketball right around the corner. Welcome back. You were hurt, right? Last time was first game back?
I was hurt. Last time was first game back.
All right, we're happy you're back. Ladies and gentlemen, Olympic gold medalist, future world champion, Tyrese Haliburton.
Hey, Tyrese.
Could be a world champion in WWE and the NBA.
Good.
Wow. I mean, it's going to be hard to get that strap.
I do appreciate that you are very much openly a Celtics fan right to Tyrese's face.
How could I not be?
Swept last year in the playoffs. You remember that?
Yeah.
We go into Garden in New York, do some gardening, get the Knicks out of the way, and then all of a sudden we got the Celtics, and it's like, yeah, this is going to be great. This is going to be a fun series. And then it was not. They just won 4 straight.
Well, the craziest part was that the Pacers, after those 4 games, you watched all of them. It should have been 2-2 or 3-1 Pacers.
Yeah, because there was
they just shit down their leg.
moments. Remember, there was a ghost in the Garden that stripped. Someone
Tyrese
dribbled it, and somehow the ball bounces sideways on the basket, and now it's over. We lose that game. Okay.
The pass, inbound pass.
Oh yeah.
The Jaylen Brown 3-pointer in the corner.
All right.
It's like 108-101 Pacers with 2 minutes left in Indiana, the game we were at before the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Like they should have won that for sure.
That was when I hit the.
Yeah, you rev the engine.
I revved the engine.
Oh yeah.
McGee was there.
The team. McGee was there. McGee was
still doing it.
They still revving that thing? Or is that just playoffs?
I haven't been to a game this year, so I
believe it's just playoffs.
It's been tough to get that.
I don't know.
Going to a game it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
All the way down there with everything going on.
Wait, you rev they have like a NASCAR there?
IndyCar, fucking
IndyCar. Yeah, you're right. You're right. IndyCar.
Welcome.
Yeah, it was Indy.
Jeez Louise. All right,
it's all racing. It's all racing. It's not F1, so it's better than that.
Come on.
Amen, brother.
Over the weekend.
Hey, big weekend this weekend for G1 down in
I
Australia.
hear there's a new guy going to take the top spot. Can't wait.
You're talking about Londo. You're talking about Londo.
Londo, they're going to let him win this time, I guess.
What do you mean let?
What an asshole.
Hey, man.
He's going to be, if he is the pole sitter, he will win the race.
Well, that is G1 racing. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Get this thing done.
We had 7 winners last year. Coming off the best season.
In what, 80 races?
No, 23, I think. 7 different winners. It's impressive.
I'm proud of F1. So resilient. Just coming back another season.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while.
Yeah, I know. Really? Long time, dude.
I think ESPN's deal is up.
Really?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, no.
I think next year, I think.
What are we going to do?
We'll get into it this year. I'm getting into F1. I'm going to see why people like it. Because anytime we talk shit on F1, I'll have some snob send me a message telling me I don't get it and yada, yada, yada. It's like, Okay, can the boys go on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and do anything? No, so I don't want to hear it. But with that being said, a lot of money, okay, a lot of investment, a lot of passion, a lot of pageantry, and those cars do look sweet.
Got an American car coming in too in 26.
Andretti?
Cadillac.
Driving an Escalade.
I'll watch that. Yeah. Especially because an American Escalade will bump.
Exactly.
Right up.
Paint.
Because F1 really loves when everybody's just right behind each other. The Cadillac Escalade's going to come and go, nope, we're actually,
Yeah.
It's going to be Monster Jam.
Exactly.
F1 meets Monster Jam.
That's something I'll watch.
And that's why they didn't want Americans in it for a long time, right? They were actually actively suing America to get into F1 and to happen.
Oh, I know Andretti was going through. He built the big facility out here. Actually, he was trying to get into it, but he did not. Cadillac is getting in.
Shout out to Cadillac. You know,
that'd be sweet. Yeah. Do they have a good car or engine or whatever the fucking bullshit is? Or
we won't know yet until 26.
So you don't even know if it's got a good.
No, but I trust
if it's going to be able to compete.
I promise you, Cadillac has the best engineers in the world.
It's a great American company. They'll figure it out.
Yes, they certainly will. Yes, they certainly. Which is why F1 didn't want Americans in for a long time.
That's true.
Cadillac's going to come in there and do it. I'll tell you what, when Cadillac gets in, we'll get in. When's that? Next year?
26.
All right, we'll see you next year.
Yep.
See you next year, F1. Starts in Australia this weekend. I will watch. I will give it another shot. I'm optimistic I'm going to like it. That's my new thing. I'm optimistic these days.
Here we go.
Glass half full.
About things that are seemingly a matter of fact. But I will be optimistic that the opposite is going to happen. And
Hell yeah.
I'm pumped about that. You know, I was optimistic that we're going to see both of Bosa's on one team. San Francisco 49ers. I think Mama Bosa was optimistic that she was going to see both her boys playing for one team. I think the split jersey was going to be no more. The split travel was going to be no more. The Bosas thought, you know what? Nick and Joey back at it like they were kids in the backyard on the same D line, hunting other quarterbacks. That's going to happen. Brandon Beane said, I don't think so. 1 year, $12.6 million deal for Joey Bosa to join the Buffalo Bills. Now, remember, they moved on from Von Miller, still kept the door open to bring back Von Miller at a different price tag. And now they signed $12 million guaranteed to Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa's stats over the last few years, whenever it comes to sacks, have not been necessarily something that'll guarantee like high-end money, but he's a game wrecker, he's a dog, he's a tone setter. I think Beane loves everything about that, AJ. When you saw Bosa was going to Buffalo, were you as surprised as I was? I thought he was going to the Niners. I thought they were going to make that happen.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. I'm just curious what the Niners may have offered. If he signed a 1 year, $12 million guaranteed, possible getting up to 15, like, do the Niners offer him half of that, you think? Like, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would assume there was some sort of hometown family discount. You know, like, we don't have all the cash in the world, especially with Brock Purdy's contract looming, depending upon this year or next year. I assume it was a low ball. And then he said, you want to lose some money for your brother? And he goes, absolutely not. And he goes, all right, we'll send Joe to Buffalo then. And Beane, he adds a guy on a 1 year, mission with all the amount of money they've invested in this particular roster, trying to go win a Super Bowl. Can Joey help him do that?
Yeah, he's a top-tier guy when healthy. And health has been his major issue. But when he's out there, he's going to produce in the run, in the pass game. And the Buffalo Bills need some dynamic playmakers on both sides of the ball. I wonder if Josh Allen sent this idea over to Beane. But, yeah, I think he'll be a great addition. They locked up Russo as well earlier this offseason and Bernard on the second level of linebacker. So, yeah, they keep beefing up, signing a one-year deal with DeMar Hamlin. So, they're trying to figure it out on Buffalo on that defense side to get over that Kansas City Chiefs hump.
Congrats to DeMar getting another deal with the Buffalo Bills. Obviously a fantastic story, but also great football was played by DeMar this past season. Shout out to the Yinzer going back to Buffalo. You look at the AFC East now, AJ, there's a lot of question marks here. Patriots, brand new everything. Jets, brand new everything. Dolphins, kind of staying put with a lot of the pieces that they had in years past. A lot of conversation around them is, are they ever going to be able to win a big one? Gumpy, after going to Miami, your thoughts on the Dolphins being able to focus and win football games?
After spending 5 days in there, I think it will be tough, but I like what Chris Greer's doing. No big splashes, but some good moves, bringing in some good guys for the team we already have.
Okay, so Jets, Patriots, brand new. Dolphins, seemingly the same. And then the Buffalo Bills revamped, including in bringing in new people. AFC East is an interesting conversation with the Bills being the king, obviously.
Yeah, definitely the Bills. And even with Joey Bosa, like, the biggest thing for the Bills, especially their D-line, was like, hey, these guys rotate constantly. I think their leading D lineman only still played 60 or 70% of snaps, and that was Ed Oliver. So Bosa with the health thing won't even be as big of a problem, it feels like. But yeah, it is kind of wide open. It's one of those spots where, a couple things go wrong for the Jets or the Dolphins or the Patriots. That other team can kind of slide up there into that 2-hole and maybe sneak in to the wild card there. But the Bills still run it. I mean, there's nothing confusing about that. They are, levels above those other three teams.
They certainly do, and obviously the only reason why they haven't had their Super Bowl run or Super Bowl success is because there's been one team standing in their way, the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Kansas City has a lot of moves that they have had to make this offseason for their team. They get to the Super Bowl, which is still an incredible feat. They win the AFC, incredible feat. Had the number 1 record in all of football, incredible feat. And then they get the doors blown off them by the Philadelphia Eagles, which I think has put a chip on their shoulder, which could make this Chiefs team even more lethal than they have been in the past. They move on from Justin Reed, who just signed a 3-year deal with the New Orleans Saints yesterday. Justin Reed, safety from the Texans, I believe.
Yep.
Then he goes to the Chiefs. He can kick off. He can kick field goals. He was an absolute dog for this Chiefs defense. He gets 3-year, 31.5, 22 and a quarter guaranteed. Congrats to him returning home to Louisiana. D-Butch, what are they getting down there to Justin Reed?
A great player, smart player, great character guy on and off the field, in the meeting room, a guy you want in that building. You talk about his Texans run, had a great run there, had a great run with Kansas City. I'm a little surprised. I thought he would get kind of close to what the other top safeties got on the market. But it's a great addition for New Orleans. They're willing and dealing somehow, even with their cap situation. But great signing with him, getting back paired up the other Louisiana native, Tyrann Mathieu.
How about Tyrann Mathieu still doing it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
High level, too.
High level, yeah.
Yeah, very, very high level. It's almost like because he goes down to the Saints and the Saints haven't been, you kind of forget about it. Good luck to everybody down there in the new regime. Let's go to college ball, shall we? Rich Rodriguez had a press conference yesterday or 2 days ago talking about a new rule in the West Virginia Mountaineer football camp.
No, I don't really. I mean, they're going to be on it, so it's not. I'm not banning them from. I just banning them from dancing on it. It's like, don't look. We try to have a hard edge, whatever, and you're in there, in your tights, dancing on TikTok. Ain't quite the image of our program that I want. But I told the team today, I said everything today is about trying to make everybody individual. It's all about the individual. It's all about the individual. And I said football is one of the last things that was got to be more about the team than the individual. And so I banned dancing on TikTok. I guess I did that. But anything that doesn't look like our program should look like, I think it's just like, come on. Really? I mean,
what do you mean by that?
And I'm allowed to do that, I guess. I can have rules. Now, when they, like I said, 20 years from now, they want to be sitting in their pajamas in the basement, eating Cheetos and watching TikTok or whatever the hell, they can go at it. Smoking cannabis, whatever. Knock yourself out.
Where did that come from? Smoking cannabis.
That's the same Rich, you remember?
There's a question. I'm so happy he's back. I am so happy he's back. I didn't ban TikTok because they're going to be on there. I banned them dancing on TikTok. I don't want to see them in their tights. I don't want that's what he said there.
I just want the quick conversation of like the unfiltered conversation.
So there was a lot there. There was a lot there that was certainly coming through. The cannabis thing came from an earlier question because Pac-Man Jones, friend of the program, obviously West Virginia University legend, top 10 pick, top 5 pick in the NFL draft out of West Virginia. He told a story about how, he was able to get around the marijuana test throughout the NFL. And to be clear, I didn't know that was really possible in the NFL. And I got tested a lot. I was in the substance abuse program for 27 months. I think I had 300-something tests in a 27-month period. So you're talking about a lot of tests. I took a lot of tests. Jeez. So listening to him kind of lay out what he did, I'm like, well, that is actually a pretty good little strategy. Slide a hand in there, do the entirety. I don't know with the piss testers that I had, it would have worked because they were.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, they're
right in front of me. They're right there in front of me, yeah.
But Pac said he was able to do it, and I believe with the way he set up, he had
No, I believe I was with Pac in Cincinnati. They test differently depending on who is working whatever teams.
Yeah, so I believed I listened to it, and then obviously at West Virginia, we potentially did have a way of going about doing the testing.
Did they test you in college?
Yeah.
You get tested for weed in college?
Yeah.
How often?
I got it twice, I think. in the 4 years randomly selected?
Yeah, it was truly random. And NFL is random, but like the time period that it's gonna,
starts on 420.
Yeah, it starts on 420. So you OTAs, mini camp, training camp, those certain times. But outside of that, you can kind of time and space it out. In college, at least for us, it'll be random. Call up after practice huddle. Hey, Butler, Hart, McAfee, go in there right now. It's like, damn.
College?
Yeah.
So we had night before, we were told.
Oh, no.
And then next morning we were in there. So we had the whole, there was a gimmick, there was a game.
Sure.
We're sleeping with.
GNC?
No, you just need a Visine bottle, basically, and somebody else. And then you just sleep with that in your tights so it gets body temperature. You wake up the next morning, pop that thing in a microwave 5-10 seconds, make sure it gets a little bit more heat. Put that in the tights, then you're going in there, and then obviously go to the stall, and they give you the cup, and then it turns around, and they test the temperature. That's the big thing, is the temperature right? Yeah, it is. Sweet, you're good. You got it. I'm going to go to work out. I'm not saying I did that or anybody at West Virginia did it. I'm just saying that did happen potentially in drug testing times. So he was asked earlier about the, not just about the drug testing policies, but the NCAA, I think, doesn't test for it anymore. And in West Virginia, it's legal. So he was being asked about how he's going to talk to his players about it. And his answer was very good. He gave a very good answer. He said, it was easier back in the day whenever it was against the rules, because if it's against the rules, I say don't do it. Like a false start, jumping off sides, against the rules, don't do it. Smoking reeds, against the rules, don't do it. Now that it's like kind of not really being tested for, and also it's legal in the state in which their school is, he gave a speech about excess and, obviously anything and wanting this, and if it doesn't affect this. And he gave it wasn't a Rich Rod answer that I thought I was going to hear. I don't need no hippies. It wasn't.
He's evolving. He's got to evolve with the times. Good for him, man. Like even Saban says, you have to you can't, there's certain things you can't be stuck on, I think.
Yeah, he's still, we're not dancing on TikTok. Okay, and I'm allowed to do that, he said. So
they want to be in their basement.
He's gonna have his. He's gonna have his.
Hey, if I'm a high school recruit and I want to go to West Virginia, I'm scrubbing my TikTok right now. I don't want him seeing anything like that.
If you're a high school recruit and you're a dog, just know that you are very much welcome to West Virginia. And these players exist. There's a lot of teams that have them. Now, granted, the TikTok generation, we're not blaming them. TikTok is an app that has obviously captivated an entire group of human beings at a certain age. And I think it tries to promote fun and happy and just being a part of things. And when you're doing those dances, you're part of a group. It's like, I don't mind it at all. But I do appreciate, I've never done it, but we got people in here that have done it. It's like, you do what you got to do. But I don't mind Rich Rod being like, yeah, that ain't what we're looking for, though. There's other teams that maybe that is their thing. Rich Rod's like, that ain't what we're.
I completely understand what I've seen.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, they're going to be on it. I fucking know that everybody has TikTok. So they're going to be on it. I just don't want them dancing on it. Listen, you can watch others dance. You can comment.
Sure.
You can even say, damn, that's a great dance.
Hell.
I just don't want to see your fucking ass. I've been getting some quotes, from the building of Rich Rod, and he's been evolving. He's certainly added to his incredible repertoire of being able to put swear words into places that really nobody has been able to do. He is an orator, to say the least. And, getting a chance to chat with him now after practice and after these meetings, and with how he acknowledges, some of the things that happen in these interactions, I couldn't even fathom what he was saying to his friends about whenever I was there. Just like, legitimately, I couldn't even, this fucking asshole. Just like the whole layout of it. But it's going to take a little bit, I think, to get that culture. It's going to take a little bit. Him and Matt Rule. Matt Rule was the first one to ban TikTok, I think. He had TikTok workouts at 6 a.m. in the morning of the combine, where they had the strength staff print out everybody's TikTok bios and put them on top of weights and then push the sled while they're staring at their TikTok bios. It was called a TikTok workout, is what Matt Rule said. And I think what Matt Rule and Rod are both saying is, first of all, we shouldn't be recruiting guys that want to do this. But also, if you're here, we don't want you to be worried about this. We want you to be worried about this. Trying to build a culture, set a tone is basically what he's trying to do.
For sure, and it's tough. Just talking about it. We were in college 20 years ago. These coaches have been coaching much, much longer than that. And while you're talking about these guys, I'm thinking about Bill. You talk about evolving. I saw a video, I think, of him in Chapel Hill, the basketball game. Great dap, solid daps.
Beautiful daps.
Never seen those type of daps coming from Bill B. I wonder if he's the next coach to ban TikTok and these zany dances on the platform.
What will he call it? He'll call it a talk tick or something.
Yeah. Clock talk.
Can he do that gimmick in college?
What's that?
He's got to be up to speed now, right?
No, I think he's going to rely on Old Faithful. I think he's going to call his social media stuff the wrong name.
Yeah.
My face was this.
Yeah.
Snap face also.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
He gets a good pop out of it.
Then he was on Instagram. He does feel good.
Yeah.
I get a good pop out of it too, because what's the combo coming? You know what combo's coming. Anytime you would reference MySpace, it is like, oh yeah, nobody has updated him on anything.
He's been out of the game.
Where's Tom?
Man.
Is Tom okay?
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, I think he made a bunch of money and kind of just vanished.
And then he became a photographer.
Yeah.
And just did it.
He kind of just does his own thing.
Created his thing, got
Yeah.
a shit ton of money, and now I'm going to go do what I want to do.
Yep.
That's nice.
That's why you're in my top 8, Tom.
Is it still alive? Is MySpace still a thing?
I think JT bought it a few years back. He's going to turn it into a music platform, but obviously that always works. You know?
Really?
People try to start new platforms or revive platforms. I think there was a little bit of an investment trying to make it a music thing, but I don't know. That,
Is Tom the MySpace guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no clue what we were talking about.
Oh, he was
there.
everybody's friend.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He was right there.
He was just like a cool guy.
He was always there for you. You had no friends? Yes, you do. You have one friend. His name's Tom. He created this fucking thing.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Didn't know much about it. It was hard to reach.
It's a good gimmick.
Boy, did he.
That's
There it
him.
is. Tom had no idea.
Yeah, he's got no skeletons.
The beef and anxiety and stress he was going to cause with teenage women and picking their top 8 friends.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
tough.
a lot of those social media platforms at the early stages created a lot more drama than I think they could have ever intended.
Certainly.
You know, like writing on people's walls, that became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Facebook in their wall started, and then whenever people started tagging photos, there was a lot of things that were done during that time. Because people would say, I didn't do that. And then you just go right to their Facebook and there's a photo and a post explaining exactly what you did the night before. It's like I was not at insert whatever. And then all of a sudden you open this Facebook app that's relatively new and there's 14 photos or posts from you at that place.
What the hell?
And somebody actually checked in with you there. Like, hi, this is your best friend said that you were there. What? Like, must have been I was not. Is that you? That started. That never happened in the real world before. You know, I think like, what was a beep, chirp?
Nextel. Where you at?
Nextel, where you at? They had the tracker on that.
Yeah.
They had like a tracker on the phone. And I remember people being like, you're gonna, I was like a teenager or a young lad listening to older, I guess, terrible partners now that I think about it in relationships being like, this is going to ruin my relationship. It's like, well, where are you lying about where you are? It's like, now you can be tracked. It's like Facebook took that to another level. And now you can just track everybody all the time.
Yeah, easily.
The transition into being tracked and not being able to just say, I wasn't there, was one. And it was like 2005-ish on Facebook, 2006-ish. And now we're here. Now everybody knows everything about everybody. And now people are dancing on TikTok, but not in the West Virginia University locker room.
Yeah. Why top 8? Did he ever answer why he only did 8 top friends, Tom, on MySpace?
You could do your top 4 too. I think there was like there was levels.
Setting?
I think there was levels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 8 was just like, hey, here's the 8 people that I hang out with, and then whoever the 9th is, problematic.
Are they ranked 1 to 8? They're not ranked, are they?
Yeah, I think they were. I think they were. If I recall,
So
I wasn't a big MySpace
people shuffle it around? Yeah, I didn't get into it. Where people would shuffle them around, you could go from 8 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
what do you
I'll
got to
tell
do to do that?
That was
what
a
do you
big
do
move.
for that?
You know, you got to shuck their corn.
Yeah, and put butter on them and serve them.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Yeah, I'm glad I never got into MySpace. I wasn't there.
Yeah, MySpace. I didn't do much of the MySpace. I know enough about it, but I didn't do enough paying attention to it. You know, because that was back whenever to get on, you had to call the internet and hope that they answered, and then they would answer. Then you get on there, and then
what a gimmick.
You go to AIM, and then you go to.
Then your mom picks up the phone in the kitchen and bumps you off. That's how old school that is.
Exactly. I'm rearranging my top 8. Jesus Christ!
MySpace was the one that you could have friends that weren't in college. We went to college. Facebook,
Bingo.
you had to have the college, email.
It was for people who were like right underneath that cutoff for Facebook when you still had to have a college email address to get on Facebook.
Yeah, my senior year in senior year of high school, I think that spring, whenever we were about to go to college, was when Facebook opened up to everybody and you just had to have a college email.
Yeah.
So like, it was crazy that we were one of the first people on that platform.
Yeah.
But what a game changer. That thing changed
remember waiting for my email.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, it changed everything. It was just like,
poking.
it was cool to be, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of reaching out. A lot
Poking people was the best.
That was an insane start. That was a hey, and then
get my poke.
Being able to connect with people was sweet. Like I thought about if I had that in high school and I'd go to these soccer tournaments in like other states, like it would have been nice to be able to like, just be like, hey, nice seeing you this weekend, instead of, hey, never see you again. Like it did add like a nice connection to the world. Now with that, obviously, there comes,
once it all came to the phone, when the iPhone came out, that's when things actually really changed, I think.
Yeah, just connecting to the world was something that wasn't possible back in the day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody joined a couple of these platforms, which leads once again to, if you're trying to launch a new platform, I respect what you're doing, but it's difficult. Is like Blue Sky, even Threads. You got Zuck funding that thing.
Yep.
And you got Instagram pushing that thing. And it's like, are you going to join Threads? Sure, because everybody's on. Am I going to use it though? Probably not. Blue Sky. This sounds like a great idea. Okay.
What is Blue Sky? What is it?
It's Threads for Twitter.
Oh.
It's basically like. No, it's
just
it's
tough to get traction. It's tough to get
Blue
traction.
Sky's a different Twitter. Sorry, it's a different Twitter.
Okay.
It's like a more positive, because X became a cesspool of political, all that stuff. Which, if any platform gets good, and by good I mean like if any platform gets popular. It's going to get, there's going to be shit in there, just like the real world. There's going to be shit. But what I would like to say is, gotta get through that shit. There's good in there too. Like being able to connect with anybody at any time. That is a fucking weapon that social media has that wasn't always around.
Well, even adding to already existing ones. Like remember Fleets? Like they added Fleets to Twitter, and that couldn't even last because it was like,
awesome.
Hey, I'm not adding an Instagram type story to my Twitter. That's not. I'll go to Instagram to do something like that.
Reels taking TikTok was interesting.
True.
Twitter trying to follow suit. Everybody's trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just trying to have a good time. And this good time will continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Tomorrow. Tickets on sale for Big Night Out at noon Eastern. I feel like I got a good plug in.
That's good.
I feel like I got a good plug in there. All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll wrap up all the storylines from today. We'll have Shaquille O'Neal joining us. Maybe. We shall see, hopefully. And it'll be a glorious Wednesday as the league year will kick off once again at 4 o'clock. Happy birthday to the NFL.
Hell yeah, NFL.
Happy birthday to the NFL. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change their life. Take 5.
Hello, beautiful people. I am here to tell you that I have a massive announcement to make about a great time that is on the horizon. A show that is unprecedented, incomparable, a show that has no equal, a big night out. He's coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the PPG Paints Arena on Wednesday, April 9th. There will be massive surprises. There will be big-time sing-alongs, hella laughs, and over $1 million will be given away inside of that arena. Give me a hell yeah! Tickets will go on sale Thursday. It'll cost as little as $20 to get in the door. No ticket will cost more than $100. It's gonna be a night that you remember forever. And you might even see this guy. All right, Cole, get out. And many others. I can't wait to see you at a big night out.
Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. That was for me. Running back, Noah Whittington. It's a fullback. Didn't score a touchdown, but what'd he do? He ran. Bryquise Brown saws him in half. DB, Weston Arthur. Loses his helmet. But this does not count because it wasn't a player. You see, it was a Ram. The Georgia Ram dog. Listen to that sound. That's not us adding sound. Those are pads crashing. The quarterback, the Ram truck stick. Eric Phoenix. Boom! Weston Arthur will carry over from last week. Mason Fletcher goes for the boom! Safety, Lathan Ransom. More like Ransom! Ransom! Kobe Savage, the duck truck toot toot! Oh. Legal play. Where'd your helmet go?
Wow.
Jonathan Allen, more like Ramathan Allen! A little bit of a low punt, but the players can make play. Oh! Let me throw my body. There is a flag on the play, but not on the punter. San Jose State, more like Ram Jose State! Weston Arthur, Mount Boom! Florida, Ole Miss, Gator, Ram, Troll! Bryce Cohen, 2 people, 1 Ram, Troll! Trevor from California, the equipment manager, sees a guy steal a ball, tracks him down through the crowd, and boom! Belly to back suplex, bitch! They showed the clip to the team in a team meeting the next day. This is the reaction. Mount Boom play that has been seen by millions. Hey, millions! We have Ram Payne on the campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, running back Jordan James. Damn. John, couldn't you love seeing a running back do something like that?
I do, and I think it's more impressive than a tackle, to be honest. You can't use your hands, you can't scoop the legs, and if you're knocking him ass over teacups, I like the run better than the tackle.
Shiloh, slam there! A nuke! I love Dan Jackson, more like Ram Jackson. Gunner Stockton. Dunzo. Cam Scatterboom. More like Ram Scatterboom. More like you can't tackle me. Rumbling, stumbling. Our reigning champion of this Ram truck segment since jump has been from Mount Union with a Mount Boom. Weston Arthur. Boom! I mean, if you're talking about a Ram truck segment, that epitomizes it. Now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls, was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome, so absurdly handsome. An underdog story too, picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick, not handed anything, and then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time, and now a phenomenal businessman and a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady. Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude. We love you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
When you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old? Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England.
There was so much people just trying to create some division that most of it was untrue, but it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments. And I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. Obviously, my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team. And I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing. And I think that's why I respected his coaching so much.
But whenever they talk about the Patriot way, that is normally the reason that is given, is like the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way.
I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced. And I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates and I'm going to care about helping the team win.
There's a guy on our show who is diehard Patriot fan. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. My whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have won 6 Super Bowls. And, I'm a loser every day, but I'm a winner as a football fan because of you and what the Patriots were able to do. So thank you. What do you think the new era of New England with Mayo is going to be?
Him coming back into coaching, I think is great for the NFL and certainly great for the Patriots. He's got a great understanding of how things need to be done. I think Gerard does an incredible job relating to everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, and I think he'll do a great job.
Going into the booth, are you utilizing the same thing, hearing what people are saying about you going in there? And how do you balance that while still being a human?
The broadcast going to be 5 years from now is going to be hopefully more improved than the one that starts on day one. So I'm going to go in there with the opportunity to start and learn, and I'm sure by the end of the year I'll feel more comfortable. I really want to be a great ambassador for the NFL and the game. I love the sport. I love the athletes. I love the organizations, and I really appreciate how challenging it is to get there, again, like the Chiefs have.
Hey.
What?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this new league year Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! Has a lot of things happening around it and in it, and we are obviously going to discuss it all. That is AJ Hawk. The Talks table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Great to see you, Ty. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys ball cap Tone is here. 9-year NFL vet, F1 superfan Darius J. Butler is here. Good to see you. We had some news during the break. It is official. Cooper Kupp is being released from the Los Angeles Rams. Now, they were thinking about maybe trading him. Obviously, Cooper Kupp put out a tweet months ago, maybe at the Super Bowl, that the Rams had told him that they were going to be seeking a trade to get him off of the roster. He put out a tweet basically acknowledging that and thanking everybody in LA. Now they will just release him instead of trading him. Now, is this because other teams didn't offer up their best trade package because they knew that he would probably have to be released? Is this because he's been hurt a couple times? We don't know, but what we do know is there's going to be numerous teams that are going to want Cooper Kupp, a veteran wide receiver, to join their building, especially one who's known to do all the right things on and off the field when he's healthy. At Boston Connor, you want him in New England. I think you just you went from 6 to midnight whenever you saw that the Rams were releasing him and maybe not have to give anything up to get him as a Patriot.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Patriots fans right now are, concerned about with this free agency so far is that they haven't added, a savvy wide receiver vet for that room, and it feels like Cooper Kupp is that perfect guy. A lot of people, will say Cooper Kupp's washed. I've seen that on the internet. I've seen he's old. He's really not. I believe he's 32. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl champion. He's a seasoned vet. He still performs when he's healthy. That's the big if, similar to the Joey Bosa conversation. When this guy's healthy, he's an absolute stud. I think New England's not the only team. I think every team basically up here, Green Bay, Pittsburgh even would want him in their building. The Colts would want him here. I just assumed that, some of the places that he would go to would want to be those, more top contenders. We mentioned the Chiefs yesterday as one of those teams. They obviously added or brought back Marquise Brown, Rashee Rice coming off an injury, but there are plenty of teams out there, and it feels like every team who would need a wide receiver, Cooper Kupp's kind of on the top of that list right now, especially now that he's been released, and maybe it is kind of a lower number than expected.
Cooper Kupp, yeah, I would assume, especially if you're getting cut on this particular day, there's already been a bunch of money that's already been sent out. Speaking of a lower number, especially at the wide receiver position, DeAndre Hopkins is signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Congratulations to D-Hop. Obviously goes over to the Chiefs for a year, has a little time in the Super Bowl. Now he joins the Baltimore Ravens. There was a photo that was posted a few years back of Derrick Henry, Lamar, and D-Hop. And D-Hop posed the question, how many TDs would this trio total? Well, we're going to find out. And I know this isn't the D-Hop of like 5 years ago, and I know it isn't the Derrick Henry of like 4 years ago, but Lamar is Lamar. D-Hop has a great opportunity here with the Baltimore Ravens, and Derrick Henry had like a full resurgence. Not that he was ever down, but last year he looked great. I think we're going to find out what that question's answer is, and I'm excited to watch him continue to build over there in Baltimore.
I love watching D-Hop play football, and I'm sure the Ravens fans probably split on this signing. I'm sure a lot of them are like saying, just like what you were saying about Cup. You see a lot on the internet, D-Hop's washed, but he's a competitor. He's going to go out there and work and try to put his best foot forward on a contending team, so he'll be playing meaningful football again. So we'll see a ton of D-Hop next year.
What is it, $5 million? $5 million for D-Hop, up to $6 million potentially. Who knows what the incentives are in all of the contracts. Lamar Jackson gets another weapon, though, AJ, which I think is good news for Lamar and good news for the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know how, if you're like a Ravens fan, how you could be upset with this sign. It's D-Hop. It's not like you're paying him $45 million a year. It's a 1 year, $6 million deal with the Ravens. So, I think it's all upside when you think of this. So, Cooper Kupp's definitely going to have to go to a contender. You know that with a franchise quarterback. There's only a handful of teams I think he's even going to look at.
Okay.
Sorry to derail that. I know Cooper was at the beginning of this.
Yeah, we're talking about D-Hop right now. You know what? We're never going to get back to Cooper Kupp, too, so thank God you got that out right there. That is I appreciate it.
I'm just thinking of Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, yeah, the dude's awesome still. So is D-Hop.
Well, D-Hop did the same thing. I think went to a contender. Yeah. Like $5 million, $6 million. At this point of your career, you've already earned a lot of money. Let's try to get into some meaningful football games. D-Hop got to do it last year. Cooper Kupp obviously has done it a lot with the Rams. It's like, let's continue to do that as opposed to just maybe getting paid more and going into complete irrelevancy, which is certainly possible.
Yeah, I mean, D-Hop's still going to be great in the red zone, which is something the Ravens are always they're always in the red zone. It's always something they need. He had a great start with the Chiefs, and then there was the lull, and then obviously, in the garbage time of the Super Bowl, things went really well. But I mean, D-Hop's still D-Hop.
Are you worried over there in the AFC North? Baltimore Ravens loading up.
No.
Joey Burrow, obviously, in Cincinnati. Cleveland just brought in somebody that's been in your building. In Kenny Pickett, as well as keeping Myles Garrett. You guys got questions at quarterback. You got a question with TJ Watt. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to be okay? Whenever D-Hop signs the Ravens, is your first thought, oh, no, we're in trouble yet again?
No, that was not my first thought. You're right. The Steelers have bigger problems on their roster. No, D-Hop does not scare me. The Browns, KP beating them twice is my worst nightmare of all time. The Bengals, they don't play defense. No, I think Steelers are going to be fine.
The Bengals, interesting. Nobody's really talked about it. Jamar Chase obviously is due a shit ton of money. I think Rapport told us he's got nothing but time to figure that out. He'll just they don't play until September or whatever, and it's like, okay, so we're doing that again. Feels like we're going to go through that entire song and dance again. Then T. Higgins stuff obviously is very real, and then on the defensive side, Trey Hendrickson is allowed to search for a deal. It's like the Bengals have a lot of question marks, and Jamar Chase said, "Know your worth." Then add tax them. Tax them. Yeah, we ain't getting no hometown discount. Okay, I know my worth, and also I know that this could have been done a year ago, so we're going to add a little tax if that is something that he actually means, as opposed to just a bar that he thinks is very cool. That is going to be interesting for Duke Tobin to kind of deal with. The Bengals are in an interesting spot.
Well, and we've seen time and time again, if you're going to do this stuff, and JJ just said it earlier, get it done early. You don't want a Cowboys situation where you just wait and wait and wait and wait, and then the market just kind of balloons. He just won. I mean, did he win the Triple Crown last year? Yeah, exactly. So, guess what? You could get this done now, or they can, extend it a little bit, and then some other guy who's not as good with him because of what the market is might end up getting a massive number, and then you're looking at oh, wow, we might have to end up giving, Jamar Chase $50 million.
You kind of have to decide whether or not Jamar Chase is in your long-term plans right now. Hey, is Jamar Chase in our long-term plans? Yes. Let's pay him then. If he's not in our long-term plans, I guess we can continue to do this shit, the song and dance. Now, granted, what's the number that they're going to be willing to give up, towards their salary cap to build a team? Not every team is going to want to spend 35, 40, whatever the number is going to be on a wide receiver. So then what does that mean for the future for the Bengals? And then there's a lot in Cincinnati to be figured out. And the way they do business is not in a way that's everybody's going to be happy at the end of this thing.
Well, what's crazy, too, that Rap Sheet mentioned is that he thinks that a deal could get done with, obviously, Jamar, but T. Higgins as well. He kind of...
Ideally.
Yeah, but Rap Sheet snuck that in yesterday and didn't use the ideally. He was like, I think they get them both done.
Yeah, Duke Tobin said at the Combine, ideally we have both guys back. Ideally we are able to get a deal done. And I guess Rappaport also says it, but... That would be very anti-Bengals.
He said it the 40 million mark too.
Yeah, and that was before they gave the Duke Tobin. Ideally, was before they gave Trey Hendrickson the okay to seek a trade. So they were still trying to figure that out. This legitimately, I don't know if there's ever been a more like, hey, the Bengals need to draft 5 defensive starters in this year's draft, or they're actually going to give up 50 points a game because they're not going to have any money to spend.
And that's what they did last year. Last year, their defense, their defense. They didn't draft them, but their defense gave up a bunch. And they get rid of the sack king. The sack kings.
Yeah, imagine if they don't have Trey. If you don't have 15.5 sacks from Trey, also last year, how bad is the defense?
Yeah, I'm very. The Bengals are fascinating.
17.5. I'm sorry, Trey.
Yeah, the Bengals are a fascinating thing. Because their fans obviously very passionate, and they'd been to the Super Bowl, in recent memory, and they got a quarterback who's an Ohio guy who can win, and they got an explosive offense, seemingly with Zach Taylor, that's able to. But they just don't look like a team that's going to win a Super Bowl, And it's like I think they're all bummed out. I think Lou Anarumo leaving there, coming here to Indianapolis is certainly something. Now there's a big shakeup on the defensive side. It's like Bengals fans, I think, are very confused, and I would be as well. We got the guy. Why aren't we? And then you look across, state lines. Ravens got Lamar and they're rebuilding. Steelers always have a winning season somehow. I have no idea how that works. And then you look up to Cleveland. It's like, all right, at least we're in a better spot than Cleveland. But you got a guy at quarterback. And it's like, does anybody talk about the Bengals winning a Super Bowl?
Nope.
No.
Not right now.
And it makes no sense because they got a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl. And if they were able to block Aaron Donald on that last play, Joe Burrow finds Jamar Chase. They score a touchdown. They win. They might win the Super Bowl. Now, granted, the Rams might answer, but the Bengals might win that fucking Super Bowl, and that's only a few years back. And now it's like, well, they're not going to be able to figure out all the problems. What a weird team to be a fan of, I assume. Like legitimately a weird fan.
Duke Tobin, too, kind of like backed himself in a corner when he said a couple weeks ago, like Jamar Chase is going to be the highest paid, non-quarterback in the NFL. And then you see what happens with Myles Garrett. And it's like the longer you wait, you might end up having to pay this guy $10 million more than you anticipated when you initially said that.
And like you said, with the guys that that you've identified are going to be a part of the long term, those are the guys you take care of early. Josh Allen getting a new deal with 4 years left. Saquon Barkley getting a new deal 1 year into his contract. Those guys are a part of your next 4 or 5 years at least. Get it done early, or he's just going to cost you more and more money.
As it goes.
Well, and look what we've been talking about, since the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like, hey, you got to be able to run the football now, and you got to be able to, stop the run. Like, are the Bengals with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow with no defense? Is that a team you would like? Hey, in December when they got to go and play in cold Cincinnati or Cleveland or Baltimore or Pittsburgh, is that a team that's built to win in those kind of environments? I don't know.
That goes back to the convo. Nobody says Cincinnati Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. That's a shame because Joe's a guy.
Yeah.
You're right though. You wait to pay guys when you're maybe you're 80% sure that he's part of your long-term plans, or you're thinking I want to see let's see how he responds after one season if you can do it again. But with Jamar, there's absolutely no question this guy, you want him a Bengal for life. So you're right. You should have found a way to get this done.
Yeah, the Brown family, though, this is now granted, they're in a new age. They got an indoor facility. They sold the rights to the stadium for the first time within the last few years. So everybody's got to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge their way through the modern era. Speaking of quarterback signing, big one in Washington. Marcus Mariota, who's back.
Yeah. Wow. Another domino.
Another quarterback domino. Obviously, we still have some questions at some other places like the Giants and the Steelers and the Vikings. But Marcus Mariota is returning to the Washington Commanders on a one-year deal. Shout out Oos. I think a lot of people forget what Marcus Mariota means to the University of Oregon and what he did in college. When we were out there and we got a chance to do the show from out there, and you just walk through the Marcus Mariota hallway, like this is actually the Marcus Mariota hallway. All of his titles, all of his records, all of his trophies. It was like, A, Oregon loves Marcus Mariota. B, this guy's one of the most accomplished football players in the history of college ball. And it's like, he's obviously beloved. He's been in the NFL a long time now. We all remember him with the Titans, and then whenever he went over the Raiders, and now he's behind Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders in their full rebuild and transition from being a crap and a shite organization into a great one. It's like, this dude's got to be a great dude. Like, Marcus Mariota's got to be a great human. Not just saying he isn't a good football player, but like great human, I think, is the overwhelming convo about old Oos.
have you seen the when you popped up? I instantly thought of the mic'd up clip when Derrick Henry ran into Marcus Mariota on the field after a game they were playing against each other. Like Derrick Henry went and jumped on his back and was going crazy, so excited to see each other. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. You get a glimpse into what kind of teammate Mariota is when you see stuff like that.
And, it didn't end well with the whole Tannehill situation in Tennessee. And Tannehill and the Titans would go on and have massive success very quickly after that. So I think Marcus Mariota kind of got cast aside, obviously. And I don't know if that's the first time he's ever had to deal with that in his life, but it was certainly loud. Then he bounces around. Now he still has a home in Washington. I assume Cliff loves a nice veteran quarterback in there.
Yeah, even the quarterback series, the original one with Pat Mahomes. Mariota was one of those guys, Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, but Mariota was going through all that, injury stuff, and they were following him the entire year, and it does feel
they cut him on his birthday? No, maybe his kid was being born?
And he went and got surgery, and they didn't know. It was a weird thing, especially to have cameras following him.
Yeah, it was a crazy situation, but it felt like during that entire thing, he was never like a nuisance or like a negative guy. Like he seemed to still just be kind of one of those calm, cool, collected dudes.
Chris Godwin returned to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier this week, and Rappaport came on our show and said that he thinks that Godwin turned down an extra $20 million potentially to remain with the Bucs. Here's he chatting on the Insiders last night.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like it was we were really close. I think that when it comes to a situation like that, you have to really, really consider it. And me and Mariah, we had some really tough conversations, with my agent. Because at the end of the day, right, we're trying to figure out what's going to be best for our family. And again, not everybody would make that decision, and I'm not faulting anybody that would. But I think at the end of the day, I was mentioning in the presser, I have to go based off of my gut. I have to go based off my intuition and what I feel like is going to be best for us in the long run. And and being here where we call home, where we feel the most comfortable, where we can raise our newborn son. I think all of those things are big factors for us in making this decision.
People hate moving. People hate moving. Now, granted, Florida, and everybody's assuming that it's New England, even though I don't think it was ever.
The question was left out, but yeah, the reason he said we were really close was it was brought up about going to New England right at the beginning.
Okay, so New England, freezing cold. Obviously, you deal with weather. You have to pick up and move up there. State income tax, obviously, very real part of the conversation. Obviously, going to a question, you don't know what you're getting into. What does day-to-day look like? In Tampa, you know exactly what it is. He said, I don't hold it against anybody that would take the extra money to go somewhere else. But for us and our newborn son, we're staying here. I love it. I love it out of Godwin. He's a Buccaneer for life, and I assume Jason Light loves him as well, AJ.
Yeah, I would assume when you hear that he turned down an extra $10 million or something, that it was from
20
a team that a $20 million. That I was like, okay, well, what terrible team offered him a bunch of money to try to come in that doesn't have a quarterback? That's not the Patriots. That's not what I think of when I think of the Patriots. They got Drake May and obviously are doing what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, just listening to Godwin speak right there, you could tell all right, this dude gets it. This dude is a professional, and yeah, the Bucs are lucky to have him. And I think it's awesome that he's staying there.
And if you think about what Vrabel's entire thing has been we got opportunity and compensation. And I think he knew he was going to have to overpay for some people that he wanted in there. But if you think about who he's signing and how, Godwin is the culture guy that Vrabel is trying to get in there. Dog, complete dog, works his ass off, be loved. Yeah. It's that's a pro that you want in your building. So that's potentially why Vrabel was willing to pay so much. Hey, you are Milton, you're a guy that we want in here for sure. Godwin, you're a guy that we want in here for sure. Crazy that he turned down that time. If it was $20 million, that is a lot of cash to play ball. But once again, maybe he just loves being down in Tampa.
Yeah, we don't know how that was spread out, what incentives, what per game bonuses, or whatever the language was in the deal. But for a receiver, obviously the money is great and very high on the priority list when you're a free agent. But for a receiver, that's one of the most dependent positions on the field. So you got to have a quarterback, you got to have a good play caller, you got to have a good offensive line, hopefully other good weapons around you. So that would have been a big risk for him, football and production-wise, going to New England. Obviously, Drake May is very, very talented, but we haven't seen what he is in this league. We know who Baker Mayfield is. We know what that offensive line is. We saw Bucky Irvin. He was unbelievable last year as a rookie. You still got Mike Evans, a Hall of Famer, on the other side of you. McMillan, who had a good rookie year. Otten, who who's a good tight end. So whatever other weapons they add, that's a great situation for Chris Godwin to stay in.
Heartbreaker for New England.
Yeah, definitely tough, but you do get it, And I love Drake May, and I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But I feel like around the league, you don't know if the players think that. It's not as if Drake May went out and lit the world on fire. Like, they still have the 4th overall pick. They won. I think Drake started for one of their wins. So it's not as if he's all of a sudden.
Not everybody's going to be a Hall of Famer either.
Yes.
That's kind of coming up in conversation in the Colts world with me. A lot of people just attacking me for pointing out things that are obvious red flags in my eyes as somebody, especially at the quarterback position. But I'm optimistic that it'll be able to change. I'm optimistic that AR will be able to change. But it's like a lot of these guys don't work out. Like, that is just a fact of the matter. Like, if you look at the percentages of guys that end up hitting and then guys that end up missing in the NFL draft, especially at the quarterback position, there's a lot of misses. Like, that is how it is. It's a very difficult position. It requires all of you all the time because the people you're playing against, especially the ones that are good and great, they're doing that. So you have to do it in return. It's not an easy thing. So it's like, I agree with what you're saying about Drake May. Like, when I'm watching Drake, it's like he's got all the intangibles. Seems like he's got what it takes to be a guy. But yeah, massive question mark probably for a lot of people. Like, I'm going to have to see it. And Godwin, at this stage, knows Baker can spin it, knows that offense can make magic. And it's like, I'm going to stay in the warm. I'm going to pay no state income tax. I'm going to stay at my house, my community, my school, and I know Baker and I are going to be able to be productive. I guess that's a whole nother added aspect of it, to your point.
Yeah, nothing against Chris Godwin either. He's also played every single year of his career with Mike Evans. I don't know if, obviously Evans has been hurt, so he's been the number one guy during games, but going into a season for an entire season, if he's been a number one receiver for his entire career, it's kind of like the same thing with T. Higgins. Like, T. Higgins, we all think he's a number one receiver, but he's never been a number one receiver because he's been playing with Jamar Chase. So it's, that question mark as well. And he is set up better for success now with Tampa, whereas even with Drake, another thing not being talked about as much, like, hey, second year, second offensive coordinator, second offense, like, has to go through
second culture,
has to go through that entire thing again. I still feel great about Drake and the Patriots this year, absolutely, especially with the new guys they're bringing in to kind of reset everything. But yeah, it just makes more sense for Chris Godwin staying home.
David Carr on NFL Network, D-Bone reporting this in the group text. When he was asked which quarterback on a new team is best set up for success in 2025, a breakthrough year, he said Daniel Jones.
Wow. Whoa.
I love to hear it.
I hope so. He's in for a good competition, training camp.
It's an easy choice.
Open comp.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an easy choice.
Until the Steelers sign their quarterback.
Why?
No, it'll still be Dan Jones.
What's going on with the Steelers? Are they signing a quarterback anytime or no?
No, like I told you, it's not a full moon until Friday, so Aaron's moon rocks need to charge.
I heard that.
And then you agreed. Thank you. You texted me. You said, you're right. Actually, I just talked to Aaron. That's exactly what's happening. So, no, nothing.
AJ, how do you feel about Aaron has said nothing to me? I don't know about to you or to anybody, I would assume. I assume he's not said anything. All these situations that have happened over the last, 5-6 years, we've done this with Aaron. There is always leaks from people. And then Aaron comes on this show and he goes, anything you hear is not coming from my team. Okay, my team does not. This is not how this goes. But every offseason, there is sources are telling us, there was a report today that he was coming on the show today, on our show today. It was making its rounds around Pittsburgh with actual media people. I was getting texts from people in Pittsburgh. Hey, heard today's a big one. Sad that I'm missing it, but I'll catch the clip afterwards. What do you think he's going to say? And I'm like, who? I'm like, who are you? I'm like, actually asking who? And they're like, isn't Aaron coming on your show today? I'm like, no. What? Who said? It was being reported in Pittsburgh. Like he's coming on the show, he's making his decision, which even more so leads the Yinzers going, I'm tired of waiting for this guy. It's like, Aaron never said he was coming on this show. No. We never said he was coming on this show. But the expectation, I guess, from some people is that he was going to come on this show today at the start of the new league year and make his decision on what he wants to do. Does he even want to play? I mean, there's so many levels to this, but the entire city of Pittsburgh is like, well, we're waiting. And he's like, Okay, I didn't know I had a shot clock on me from a city that I've never played in before, but also trying to see what the best is. So, he's a fascinating cat. But this quarterback situation, Giants, are they talking to Russ and Aaron? So if Aaron goes to Pittsburgh, does that mean Russ is going to the Giants? What about the Vikings? How come they haven't just come out and said JJ's our guy? We're not looking at a veteran quarterback. And how come we haven't heard anything about the Vikings potentially trying to sign Aaron? This is us just all being like, Aaron at the Vikings would be sweet. And we're not the only
You're right, though. The Vikings, if that's the decision they're making, like, hey, JJ's our dude, they're going to have to eventually say that. Like, why wouldn't they have said that by now?
But once again, they don't have to do that. But that could be a hypothetical that people start reporting. Like, today's the day that Minnesota is going to come out and say that JJ's, even though Minnesota never said this, and they're probably not expecting to do it, that's kind of seemingly how this world works now. It's like, Minnesota's going to have to tell us who their quarterback is before the end of the day. Before the end of the day, it's like they've never said that they're going to do that. Just like Aaron has never said he's going to do it. Has Aaron even said he's going to fucking play again? I don't. Legitimately.
He hasn't said anything. He hasn't said anything, has he?
You tell me.
No, for real. Like, I'm the one I say all the time, yeah, I think he's too good to not play. I think he will play. But that's just me saying that. And as a fan of watching him play, and I want him to go to Pittsburgh too, but I don't know anything. I don't know if he knows anything.
Yeah, you want him to go to Pittsburgh, which I think is actual news. Like, people in Pittsburgh should be like, AJ Hawk, who I don't want to put like a rating system on Aaron's friends because I don't know.
If there's 8.
Top 8?
He's top 8.
If there's 8.
He is in Aaron's MySpace top 8 for sure. Like, that is no questions asked. So that is what he wants. Aaron has heard the pleas via text messages from maybe some Yinzers about potentially going there. But Aaron is also probably hearing shit from other places as well. And this is like a massive decision for Aaron Rodgers, in his entire life. So I am eager for him to make his decision. I'll text him every morning. Let's go. That's literally what I text him. Or I'll send like the eyeballs because I know the eyeballs will get him, because the eyeballs are like, oh, what do you know? He'll send. And he'll go, what? And I'll go, well, let's go, dude. And then there's no response afterwards. There's no response. So I think everybody's kind of eagerly awaiting. But in Pittsburgh, it's a lot of like, this guy needs to fucking tell us whether or not he's...
Come on.
Okay.
Right now.
We're about sick of it. And it's like, I assume some Giants people are probably thinking the same thing. And then Vikings people, you listen to Dan Orlovsky talk about it, he's like, well, we don't, no way. It's
bad idea.
Okay. All right. There's
well, Russ wants him to do something as well, doesn't he?
I assume Russ does. I assume a lot of these rookie quarterbacks are wondering what the draftable quarterbacks are certainly flustered about what's going to happen because, where he goes matters. How about Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Like Kirk Cousins, there's been different reports. There's no way they're going to keep Kirk Cousins and have Michael Penix Jr. be the quarterback, is what everybody says, thinks. Then there was reports during the combine. Falcons are okay with paying Kirk Cousins $37 million and have him be a backup quarterback. And it's like, is that real or is that not real?
Come on.
Haven't heard his name at all being talked about in this entire quarterback carousel, though, so maybe it is real.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, why wouldn't it be real? He's already guaranteed that money from the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you drafted Penix with the idea that if it doesn't work out with Kirk Cousins, he looked great for a run, and then he looked terrible before they benched him. So I mean, Kirk wouldn't want to be a backup, of course. You only got a few years left, I would think, as a quarterback. But yeah, unless a team is willing to give something up to get him in there, I can see him being back up there in Atlanta.
Dan Orlovsky said Kenny Pickett's going to be the starter in Cleveland. AJ, your thoughts? Didn't say definitely. He said there's a chance Kenny Pickett's the starter, which there definitely is. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a chance Kenny Pickett's the starter in Cleveland. Didn't even think about that. I was just like, all right, Kenny Pickett's going to be like the veteran backup now. That's going to be like his new role. And Orlovsky was like, who else?
Yeah,
who else is going to be there?
No chance. 0% chance Kenny Pickett.
Really? Got number 2 overall pick.
0% chance.
Number 2 overall pick,
And Schefter said they're taking a quarterback. And then you see what Mary Kay said about Shador.
So maybe Kenny starts the season.
Yeah.
First couple games.
See how it goes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
See how it goes. And then you bring in the rookie, or do you drop the rookie in there and have Kenny Pickett be the veteran voice of reason? And interesting for Kenny that he is now that guy, though. Like in my thought, whenever he got traded there, I'm like, all right, Kenny Pickett's getting brought in for some veteran, leadership here to do a little. And it's like, not that long ago, he was drafted to be the guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now in my head, my first reaction is like, good for Kenny Pickett doing this. And Dan Orlovsky mentioned he'd be a starter earlier today. It was the first time it crossed my mind that like, oh, Kenny Pickett might be the fucking starter for the Cleveland Browns. That's real. That is a very real situation. You're saying no.
That's just my opinion. I don't have any sources on this. Just I guess that can't be used as a source. According to my sources, Kenny Pickett will not be the starter. We'll go to rookie quarterback, and he will be the starter.
According to source says, also known as my thoughts, you know, because I've talked to a lot of people. So do I count or not? I think I should count. This is my own.
Hey, Kenny's a great guy to have in that building. And, you know, Mariota just got signed. I just talked about Kirk Cousins being potentially a backup because Michael Penix, he doesn't have the cleanest bill of health either. So when you lose a quarterback, we all know how everything could just go downhill. You have no chance. So, yeah, I can see him being in the building. But if I'm Andrew Berry, you just gave, you know, obviously Miles 40. I don't know where they are health-wise or signing-wise with their offensive line, but if you have a decent offensive line with Stefanski, I think you put a rookie quarterback in there that you feel confident if you draft at that number 2 position.
And we've talked about so many times how, like, the backup quarterback position is the position that is going to get, you know, playing time at some point in the season because of how long the season is. Like, you get a Kirk Cousins-type quarterback for 2 games, especially down the stretch where you need to win for, like, a playoff chance. Like, yeah, you're going to be pretty pumped you held onto them and just ate that $37 million versus, you know, the massive dead cap hit that I assume his contract has.
Let's go to hockey, shall we? Ovechkin, Ovi, is just 9 goals away from breaking the great one, Wayno's goal-scoring record. He's going to do it this season. This is insane.
Yeah, it is insane because this was at one point thought of as untouchable, unthinkable, and here we are just 9 goals away with a lot of hockey left to play, and he did it in a season in which he broke his leg and came back. Yeah. So when you look at that, it's one of the all-time great achievements in sports in general if he's able to pull this off, which I think he will. And then there's the conversation of if he does do this, does he come back next season? I think that all depends on how the Capitals postseason goes. Right now, they're the best team record-wise in the NHL, so they got a good shot at a Stanley Cup. Does Ovi break this record, maybe win a second cup and ride off into the sunset, or does he come back for more and chase more?
What does Ovi Diesel want to do? What else is there to chase if you already get the goal-scoring record? You want to be remembered as the greatest goal scorer of all time. Well, he is certainly that, and that was not him scoring on that empty net right there.
No, he passed it up so that guy could get his first career hat trick.
Which is unbelievable because we're talking about history. He could clap on that thing from the blue line.
Which was also big.
Dahn, that would have been fucking sick if he would have done
that. A big narrative on him early in his career was he's not a great teammate. He doesn't pass the puck. He's selfish. All he wants to do is score. And then you see things like this as we evolve over time.
Was that Russian? Was that the Russian?
The KGB?
Was that Russian conversation?
Could have been.
Wasn't that kind of the thing about Russian players as a whole? Is they're a little standoffish maybe? Obviously the language different than ours. That was kind of the talk about Russian players as a whole.
Yeah, there's a couple stereotypes like that. Like not as physical, you know, a little more flashy, don't like to play defense, just like to shoot.
But then
like
we see Gino, when he comes to the Pittsburgh Penguins, he's awesome. Teammates love him. Everybody loves him. His parents are beloved by the entire place. And Gino will fight you. And I think Ovi, he's been so awesome for so long. Watching his ass he's just waiting. And then as soon as that thing comes over and it's just and I think he has a kid now. I think I watched him and his kid hitting some in the driveway. It's like, what a weapon. 9 away from breaking the all-time record. That's impressive. Now, speaking of records, here's a man that has all of them. You want to just talk about the amount of success that an athlete could potentially have, both while playing and retired? This man's name is at the top of the goddamn list. He is now teamed up with the wonderful company Beatbox, who I watched their Shark Tank last night to learn a little bit more. 3 founders. It is a carton of wine-type party punch is kind of how it's described. Ooh. And it has 11.1% alcohol in it. Okay? It is a good time quick. Well, there is now a Shaq-themed Beatbox. It is blueberry meeting lemonade in a flavor mashup so big it could only be inspired by this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaquille O'Neal. Hold on. We have some.
In the fridge.
Yeah, we got some in the fridge. We got to cool them down. You drink that cold, I assume, Shaq, right? It's delightful.
Yes, I do. First of all, you know the rules.
Okay.
Tank top only. All right. You don't have a tank top on when I talk to you, dude. Come on. What the hell's going on?
He definitely forgot the rules.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know. He won't forget again.
The guy with the long hair, what's your name?
Connor Shaq. How are you?
All right. The guy in the middle, what's your name?
Ty. How you doing, Shaq?
And the guy in the white shirt?
Tony. Shaq.
And then the brother, let me speak to you in the black language. What's up, my boy? What's your name?
Hey, what's up, OG, Triple OG? There's
what's up, my boy? You good?
Yeah, man, we good.
And then there's AJ, sexsymbol.com. Perfect
Yep,
face,
that's me.
perfect hair, perfect T-shirt. Come on, fellas.
What's happening, Big
What's
Diesel?
Hey, your Shaq gummies. Shaq, your gummies are a big hit with all my. I got 4 kids, and they all ask for the Shaq gummies almost every day of my life.
Well, thank you. There he is. Tank top man. Tank top man. There you go. there you go.
Now,
That's it. Listen.
I'm ready to talk about Beatbox with 11.1% alcohol inside of it. This is the Shaq-inspired blueberry lemonade. 11.1% alcohol at a 2:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday. Something. This is certainly good.
Wait. Are you trying to race?
Well, yeah, you got to chug it. Yeah.
Trying to race?
I'm not. All right. Yeah.
Put a hole in the bottom of it.
Yeah. All right.
Wait. Hold on, Pat. Hold on, Pat. You're corporate and I'm corporate. Yeah. According to rules, you're not allowed to drink alcohol on these shows. Is that true?
We're not on TV. We're only on the internet right now. I think we're good.
All right. So you sure?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Hold on. Hold the phone. Did you
man up?
Did you
man up?
Is that one got some gimmick in it? This one's fresh out of the box. This one's brand new.
All right. You know what? Let me get a new one out the box.
Oh, you're saying that? All right.
There you go. Try to do perfect.
Out the box.
All right. This is the.
Here's the box.
Damn, that's good.
Okay.
All right. Here's the box.
Good delivery. Shaq, Beatbox.
Yeah,
Shaq's size flavor.
I'm gonna grab this one.
All right, let's do it. Can't wait to see my daughter in a little bit.
Hold on. You ready?
Hey, Shaq, here's to you. Always trailblazing. Always
Here's to you,
eyebrow
buddy.
raising. With the amount of money coming through that guy's brain, it is nothing short of captivating. Cheers to you, Shaq. Appreciate you, man.
When you
Beatbox.
march, get set, go. You lose. It's not entertained. It's not entertained.
Hold on, hit that thing. Hit that.
Are you not entertained?
Got him. That's all. Hey, that was my first. Beatbox as a whole, but also the first one of yours. That is good.
Which flavor you got?
Yeah.
That is.
I got blueberry lemonade.
So the blueberry lemonade, I believe, is the Shaq one. This one is the hard tea. It was delightful.
The LSU hard tea.
Yeah. Hey, oh. That's what his beatbox. Yeah. Suck that beatbox down. Let's talk about it, Shaq. How'd you get involved with the beatbox? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have to. Hey, let's talk about beatbox. How did you get involved with this? And how excited are you for DJ Diesel with a little beatbox out there having a good time all summer long?
So, you know, I do a lot of like 150 to 200 shows a year. And one time at a festival, I saw these kids drinking this drink, and I was actually thirsty, and I tried it. I was like, what the hell is this? And then I looked into the company, and I saw that my good friend Mark Cuban was involved. So I called him and said, hey, Mark, I'd like to meet with the people from Beatbox. And, we talked about, a partnership. And, I've always tried to get at the beginning of companies and, to help them grow. Being a sports guy, I have the mentality of what can I do as a great player to help you win the championship? You mentioned money earlier in your show. For me, it's never about money.
But
it's about, no, not really, but it's just always about the opportunity. A mentor of mine passed away yesterday, Junior Bridgman.
Man.
And he was a great businessman. And I said yesterday on the show that I try to emulate him because my father did a great job of teaching me all the torture stories. And every time I would come in with a C, he was like, athlete lost 30 million. He would always, advocate education. And so, this is just me continuing my father's legacy and just, taking advantage of opportunities because Pat, there's a lot of football players that you played with and played against that don't have anything. I know a lot of NBA players that don't have anything. So I'm glad that I have the opportunity. And this is just about being a businessman, helping the company grow. I wish my assistant was here because I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I never know when I'm making a deal because I never want any deal to be monetary related. I believe in a startup. I join a company. I invest. I just want to help the company grow, and then at the end, whatever happens, happens. But being the great competitors, being the great athletes that we are, we strive for number one. They showed me a chart yesterday, and we were that was talking about how great they are. I was like, we're not number one. Yeah, but no, there is no but. I want boom. I want this company. I want their ass out of there. I want boom, boom. So for me, this is what it's all about. And I just want.
So when you talk about trusting the process, you genuinely believe that. Like, you're more so in the work and the grind, and then we'll find out what we make at the end of that. I respect that a shit ton. Now, you have garnered a lot of capital through the trusting the process, and your brand and the way you go about doing your business is seemingly spotless. I don't think I've ever seen you pick something that isn't a winner. Your gummies, I'm not like a sugar candy guy. I'm a chocolate guy. I like chocolate candies. Your Shaq Heads gummies, we have them in the office. The sour ones are the best gummies I've ever tasted. So like selecting that company to work with is a business skill that not everybody has. This shit tastes very good. And obviously it does because Shaq is a part of it. It feels like you have a selection process and good taste in things that can have success. And I think they do the same exact thing with you on the return. Now, you talked about, what was his name? Guy passed away yesterday. I just found out he's a billionaire, I think, ex-basketball player, right? Ex-NBA guy.
Junior Bridgman.
Yeah, like good business over there in the NBA world. A lot of good business people.
I was having a conversation with my son the other day because, my father used hard disciplinary tactics to motivate me, which worked for me. So my son, telling him stories. So I was telling him that I use jealousy to motivate me. I work my ass off, and I don't really care about the list and all that. But about 10 years ago, the Forbes list came up of the richest retired athletes, and I knew. I arrogantly said, "Shit, I got to be number one." All the fucking shit I know I'm number one. And when I saw it, it was Junior Bridgman number one. I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And then Michael, and then Magic, and then Dave Bing, and then me. 5. So now I'm pissed. So instead of hating and doing that, now I just study these guys. Junior Bridgman, I know that name. Played for the Bucs. I'm like, damn, he did Wendy's. Okay. Oh, I like chicken. I'm gonna start Big Chicken. Dave Bing is doing stuff in steel. Jordan with the shoes. I got my own shoes. And Magic is doing a lot of philanthropy work. So I take all that stuff and I just ramp it up even more. So, I always tell people, it's okay to be jealous sometimes, but don't turn that jealousy into envy. Turn it into motivation. I'm jealous of you, brother. You got a hell of a show. I'm here talking to my cousin, my producer. Like, how can I get a show like that? And we're studying everything you do, but you work a little too hard for me.
No. You work your ass off too.
Well, I'm not doing that all day.
Yeah,
I'm not doing.
3 hours in a day, obviously a little different. And
3 hours? Oh, hell no. That's too long, Pat.
Yeah, you could do it, though. You could do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
The inside the NBA, I mean, we're stooges, so it feeds us. And I won't be doing this forever. I look at guys like Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick, and I'm like, how, and Stephen A. even, like, how do you do this for 30 years? I don't know how you continue the juice and the energy, but with that being said, I've seen you on TV and movies and everything since I'm a kid. No, I don't want to age you, but you work your fucking ass off, which is why I think I have so much respect for you and for all the success that you've
fucking age me. Yeah. When I'm a kid, not that.
Yeah, when I was fucking 6 years old, I remember watching you, do your thing.
Can we put up a fun poll right now?
Sure.
I want you to ask your viewers, what's sexier, your arms or AJ's face?
Put AJ's face back up there. Hold on, let me make sure.
I can't tell.
Yeah, let me get a good shot.
I can't tell.
AJ's got a fresh cut for you too, Shaq. You remember that jawline was.
Don't be flexing too much.
Yeah, well, I am. So, do we take the photo?
Yeah.
All right. All right, good. It's done. Shaq, I watched that Shark Tank on this beatbox. Mark Cuban put $1 million down for 33% of the beatbox. How far into the company is the beatbox right now, and what is next for you and them to kind of world domination with this thing?
We just want to continue to grow. We just got off a phone call with Walmart, and we're exciting, getting ready to start a brand new partnership with them. It's just about growing, just about getting the word out. We dominate the festivals. Want to continue, to dominate festivals, and then, eventually take it worldwide. My views and strategies may be different from, the founders, but any growth is great growth to me. A lot of, people want to go for numbers and do all this, but if we were better than we were yesterday, to me that's success, because I plan on being proud. The reason why we created Shaq gummies is because I'm gonna start pissing a lot of people off, and you can't whip my ass. So you know what you can do? Just bite my head off. If I upset you in any way, hey, I want you to just take these right here. And once they get clogged up in your throat, you just take one of these and you wash it out.
That's right. Get a little beatbox in you, and then go ahead. Hey, you can even rip me in half if you want. Wow, look how tough you are. Rip my head in half. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right in my freaking face off.
The Shakalicious gummies are delicious. That was very
Hold
good.
on. AJ, we do this every time. You just sit there, talk.
No, he's
Please.
coming. He's coming around the corner. I
will.
He's coming around. I'm getting all this shit out of the way, Shaq. I'm getting all this shit out of the way.
All
And
right,
this isn't
okay,
shit.
good.
This isn't shit, but you get it. It is.
Yes, I understand. Yes, I understand the language.
Now, with that being said, go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Shaq, get into basketball a little bit. What's your thoughts on this current NBA season, everything going on? There's always drama, people talking about too many threes being shot, all of this. How do you think the rest of this season goes, and who do you think actually finds a way to win this thing? You think Boston can repeat?
When I was a kid, the NBA, of course, you didn't have access to all the games, but the NBA always had certain storylines. So when I first started watching the game, it was about how innovative Dr. J was, how the style was, and he had the bad stuff. Then after that, okay, here comes this Patrick Ewing guy and this David Robinson guy. Oh, don't forget about Magic and Bird. And then when I started playing, it was all about Jordan and the Bulls. So to answer your question, we have some interesting storylines. Cleveland, can they overtake Boston? OKC, can they come out the West? Who's the MVP? Dirk or Shea? Giannis and Dahn, can they get it done? So, it's a lot of, the Lakers, Charles Barkley said a couple of weeks ago the team was terrible. Now they're in two, they're not Luka. So we have a lot of interesting storylines. As a fan, I do think there's too many threes. The part that I hate about the game, Pat, imagine every football team running in the same place.
Yeah.
How boring would it be? So I've said this many times. Every team does the 3 dribble handoff, top of the key, pick and roll switch. I would just hope that coaches will go back to being innovative. You use what you have. Like Denver does a great job of, okay, we got the best big man in the league who can shoot and post up. Let's just do that. But I think I don't know what the ratings are. Like I hear, different rating numbers. Like I wish there was a ratings guide that we can go to and it would show us. But the games that we've been having on TNT have been very interesting. The game last night, Indiana, the coach runs a 1987 Hoosier fucking play.
Great shot.
Look right here, and you got to know as a defensive guy, don't let Tyrese or Siakam get the ball. I would rather have a guy like Miles Turner shoot. So they run this little football play. Pat, you would know what type of call that is.
He has a little tunnel screen there, a little clear out. Yeah, brother, great play.
That's right. Tyrese right here gets the ball. A guy you don't want to get the ball. He takes it. He shoots it in rhythm. Fouled by Giannis and the 3. That was a great game. I'm sure people in Indiana, saw that game and it was like they were having fun. So, I'm up and down about the players and how they play, and that's because I'm critical because I expect greatness. As a kid, I saw greatness. I was able to obtain greatness. So as a fan, that's what I want to see. I can remember going in the Chicago Bulls arena and seeing like, oh, this is how fucking champions play. This is how fucking fans supposed to treat you. I can remember playing on teams where I missed a shot and a million people boo, like Jordan missed a shot and it's like, we still love you. I'm like, man, can I get some of this love? And then, one guy said, yeah, you can get some of that love when you start fucking winning. I got to start winning. All right, I got you.
Do you think that the modern greatness, though, because it looks different than the greatness of the past, is something that is going to be tough for the greatest big man of all time to buy in on, whether or not? Like Tyrese Haliburton, obviously. Go ahead.
My mother said a very simple term. They're not like you. So sometimes I have to get out of my ways. But one way I will not get out of is the formula. I know to be a great big man, got to average over 28 points. You got to average over 10 to 12 rebounds. I know that. I will not change that. How you get to 28, it's okay. Like last night, my good friend Adam Lefko was, Zion Williamson, 20 points, and I didn't smile. He's like, we're not happy? I'm like, no, bro. anybody can get 20. Like, I expect greatness from a guy that.
He just had 22 assists, though.
I don't care. No.
That's part of the formula.
He did triple-double. This guy Zion had a fucking triple-double. Yep, that's what I heard. You said, I don't care. He can get more than that. It's like, God damn.
I remember one time I had 50 points and I missed like 12 free throws. And I came on and everybody was, oh my God, great game. And I'm looking at my father and he's like, you should have had 60. I was like, huh? He's like, what the fuck you mean, huh? 50 plus points for 62, motherfucker. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Always wanting more and expecting more, especially from our best in the world, is awesome. You guys, though, are like a team in the NBA. I think as regular fans, you count all the teams that are in the NBA, well, most of them at least. I haven't seen a lot of them play a single game this year, but most of them play. And then you guys inside the NBA are a team, like a representative of the league. You guys should be incredibly pumped about that. And obviously, Charles Barkley took a shot at Big Dome, Kendrick Perkins, and the ESPN and everything like that. And it was a magical moment, I think, for TV. And obviously, that's going to happen. You guys are coming over to ESPN next year. Is that? Do I have that understood? And when that happens, what changes for you or what changes for the show?
If the term coming to ESPN is correct, I know they're leasing our show.
Licensing. They're licensing you guys.
Yes, they're licensing. So I don't know the legal ramifications. I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but it's definitely good for TV. And one thing about us being athletes, I think you can say whatever you want as long as you say it respectfully. You know, I don't have a problem with people saying certain things and criticizing me. It's part of the job. You know, before I get upset, I always say to myself, if there's some truth inside the criticism, you just got to take it. This is the nature of our business. Like, I remember one time I asked a person, say, "Hey, how come I'm not talking about when it comes to greatest players of all time?" And say, "Because we couldn't go to you in the fourth quarter. You missed a lot of free throws." Now, there's truth in that. You can't fucking get mad, so I have to accept it. But
yeah, I would have got mad though if I was you.
I know, but the title that I do own, I am the most dominant one of the most dominant big men in history. And, you know, I'm fine with that. So, you know, the thing with Kendrick and Charles, that's the same thing we were doing in the court. So, you know, as long as those guys keep it WWE, you know, you got Charles talking about, I walk through a graveyard with a whistle, and you got Kendrick talking about the 509. Y'all ain't gonna fight. If you are gonna fight, I'm gonna be the fucking promoter, and we're gonna do it on fucking May 19th. If not, you talk, we talk, and let's just keep the shit going. Just keep having.
All the smoke, I believe, is what Charles said. I want all the smoke whenever he started the entire thing. It was wonderful. That's why I think everybody loves your show. Now, let's talk about some of the teams this year. More specifically, one of the teams that you mentioned out of the West. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Shaq, you mentioned OKC earlier, and there's been kind of a narrative going around today, actually. I saw it on Twitter that, hey, you know, people in the NBA, they're not necessarily afraid of OKC or they don't respect them. When you look at them, they maybe have the MVP this year. Do you think they're a team that can actually, you know, win a title this year, or do you think they're still, because they're so young, a couple years out?
I hate using this word, but if they continue to play well, and if this guy continues to shine like he's shining, they definitely have a chance. You know, I've always been an advocate of the others. So Jay Will's going to have to play. You know, the guards going to have to play. The big guys, Hartenstein, all those guys are going to have to play well. I think they can get it done, but they have to get it done. You know, the reason why they're not getting respect because, and listen, it happens to a lot of people. When you have bigger names and premier players, they're always going to get the first rights of refusal. Like LeBron's still here, so he's first. And then you got Boston, they're the champs, they're second. And then you got, you know, Luka going to the Lakers, he's third. So, and, you know, Oklahoma City is fairly a very small market. And, you know, they're playing well, but they still have to get it done. But the fact that teams don't fear them means they're going to have to do things 100% correctly, at least 4 out of 7 games.
What was it? Last year, SGA really came into the lexicon of the conversation, I think. And then this year, he's just continued to go. Are they young? What is the OKC model for those that don't? Are they young and they've kind of developed? Or are they free agent? And what do you think is the best in the NBA for team building, Shaq?
First of all, Pat McAfee Smith. What the fuck is a lexicon? Don't be throwing those fucking big
Bad,
words.
right? Hey, that was pretty fucking good, brother. My diction's pretty solid. Yeah. No, in the zeitgeist. SGA came into the zeitgeist,
You know, I think they can get it done. You know, I always tell people that the most valuable lesson I learned was in my last year in Orlando when, you know, we beat the Bulls the year before. They came back to sweep us. As I'm walking off the court, Michael Jordan says, "Before you succeed, you must first learn to fail." And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then when I got home, I was like, what the fuck did he say? Like, before you succeed, you must first learn to fail. But so that angered me. So I always had to play. So, you know, hopefully that tough loss they had last year angered them. And it looked like it's angered them because they're playing well. So hopefully they learn from that and can move on. But, you know, Joker's going to have something to say. Lakers going to have something to say. If Golden State can get in, they're going to have something to say. It's going to be.
On that note, star power throughout the West Coast is very real. D-Butt has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of Golden State, obviously Steph got a running mate now with Jimmy Butler, and they've been kind of hit the ground running since he came over there. And a lot of people talk about you don't give certain players their flowers, and we talked about shoot too many threes and all these things. Steph Curry completely changed the game, and I've been an advocate of him being in that GOAT conversation because of his impact on the game, what he's done, first unanimous MVP, 4 chips in the Bron era. I saw you put him in that GOAT conversation, too, and that means much more when it's coming from G14, classified, Big Diesel. Why did you say that? What do you think about Steph actually being in that GOAT conversation?
Because if you're going to have a conversation, I want to have a real conversation. Don't just put who you want to put in. If we're going to have a national, worldwide conversation who the GOAT is, I want all the recipients. That's all. Like, for example, my guy's always going to be Mike. Before Mike, it was Dr. J. But now we got Mike. I played with a guy that was a fucking killer. He helped me get 3. I don't have a problem saying that. I know I was the Finals MVP 3 times in a row, but without him, I definitely don't get 3. You got to put his name. Then there's fucking LeBron. You got to put his name. Now there's a guy that is so fucking good. Every team plays like his team for the last 5, 6 years, and there's never been a shooter like him. And he's winning championship. How come his name's not in the conversation? Listen, we live in a world with 8 billion people. You're gonna fucking pick who you want. It's your opinion. I don't have a problem with you picking any of those names, but you know, we don't talk about who the greatest is. I want to hear everybody in the conversation. Like, if we're gonna talk about this on TV, don't just talk about your 2 people. Like, you know. And then from a big man side, what about fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah. A lot of what? Yeah.
I mean, like, we're gonna have this conversation and put out tweets, put out fucking polls, and put out Instagram, put all the recipients, and then you fucking pick. I don't really care who you pick. Jordan is my guy. You know, I don't care about anything else. Jordan is my guy. That's my opinion, and whoever don't like it, go to the store and get some Shaq and
rip my face apart and chew me. Well, I think if I was you and I went into Chicago and I saw Michael Jordan miss some shots and get clapped, I'd probably think this is the greatest guy of all time as well. Everybody has different experiences. Steph Curry, though, you talk about changing basketball as a whole globally. I mean, you got 7-footers now. Wemby coming in from France. It's like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Every level.
Every level.
LA Fitness. And I think, and I don't say this disrespectfully, I think because he's not an exciting finisher, people kind of look at him.
Yeah, the no look is kind of the only thing he's got. You're talking about not.
Yeah, no, imagine if he had fucking tremendous finishing power. Then it would be no fucking, like his name, like right now he's just a shooter. Like, you know, all the other guys can shoot.
Didn't he dunk?
Fade away. Dunk. Yeah, no, I'm talking about not fucking dunk one. I'm talking about go through the lane and just fucking
like Ja Morant.
Yeah,
like that. Imagine that. So I think, you know, because he doesn't really finish like that, people overlook him. But I'm not overlooking him.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you doing that, especially with the platform you have and who you are. Last question. Obviously, we know you're very busy. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Shaq, obviously huge game tonight, Thunder, Celtics. How do you feel about that game? And then, you know, people are always saying, you know, this might be a finals preview, and you mentioned, you know, all the guys that, you know, Shea would have to go through in the West. How much of a difference is, you know, regular season ball to playoff basketball? Like, what is that level that everyone else goes to as the rounds progress?
I'm going to answer the first part of your question. I'm starting a new show called I Don't Watch That Shit When I'm Not Working.com. I got shit to do. Hold on. Go to dinner, go on a fucking hot date, or watch fucking Thunder in the Boston. Rich and I'll go out on a hot date for $1,000. To answer your other question, what I learned from the great Phil Jackson is you pace yourself. If you have championship aspirations, you beat the team that you're supposed to beat. You stay dominant at home, and you stay above 500 in a row. So where are they playing at?
Boston.
Okay, so Boston being the championship team, they know they got to put this team away. So I expect Boston to win tonight. However, OKC wants to be fucking great, so they know in order to be the champ, you have to go through the champ. So if I'm playing the champs, I'm letting them know that if we see you in the finals, this 40 I'm giving you now, next time it's going to be fucking 50. So I hope it's a good game, and good luck to all the fans watching, because I won't be fucking watching.
Okay, hey, we'll send you an update. We're gonna have we're gonna have some beatboxes tonight. The Shaquille flavor, the Shaq flavor is obviously incredible. That tastes way too good to be 11.1% alcohol.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It is 11.1. I'll tell you that much.
And listen, I want to say, I know we're having fun, but all the people that are drinking the beatbox, you know better. Don't fucking drink and drive. Drink responsibly.
Amen. Especially Uber, Lyft, everything that's capable nowadays. There's no reason to get behind a wheel. We appreciate you, Shaq. Keep killing it.
Thank you, AJ. Sexyface.com.
Thank you, Shaq. Appreciate you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaquille.
Started a bunch of websites.
Yeah, AJ Hawk.
He does. He has so many websites, doesn't he?
Now I know why you got the fresh cut, AJ.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
For Shaq. Yeah, it was for Shaq.
Just real quick, you wouldn't be able to stop him. You know that.
Shaq. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's right.
Yeah,
I would not be able to stop anything.
You know that.
You know.
Just so I know. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, just a little heads up. Oh, no.
In the paint? On the block?
Foxy. Yeah, of course.
No.
That's what he's talking about.
No, it's a different way.
Most dominant.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly. The most dominant.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, Shaq wouldn't.
International ball's never going to work for Shaq.
No, not with Shaq, though.
Well, we need one because he's an international
man.
Shaq!
Beatbox.
Boom!
Yeah, that was good, And we can't call you the greatest of all time because we didn't give you the ball in full court because you couldn't make free throws. He had to be so pissed when he heard that.
Oh, yeah.
How come I'm never in a conversation about greatest of all time? I just fucking win. That's all I did. Could we give you the ball in fourth?
Well.
Yeah. You couldn't make free throws. Hack a Shaq. You ever heard of it? It's because of you.
Change the game.
All right, I guess there's a little truth in that. Fuck off.
Good point.
And then I just
Yeah, but to him, shooting a free throw is like us using a ping pong ball to shoot a free throw, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lethal shooter.
That'd be tough. That's like a little Papa shot.
Yeah.
I'm not great with those little balls. I don't know how people actually shoot them like a basketball.
No backboard.
Yeah, you just got to find the spot on the backboard and just try to replicate. It's impossible. It's tough.
Definitely what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I am off the backboard guy. I'll even underhand that thing.
Oh, yeah.
But there's people you'll see that are like actually like
shooting full jumpers.
Shooting it. I'm like, how are you? I don't know how you're
I do
doing
that. You just have to be very weak. Low muscle tone, stuff like that.
Have you heard anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
I did house.
When's it have to happen? Like, when's the latest
Today.
we're going to hear it?
If it doesn't happen today,
I'm out. If it doesn't happen today, I'm out on him. You can tell him that, too.
Half of
on what?
Pittsburgh is going to go, yeah.
I guess Shefty is pissed off that it hasn't happened yet.
Hey, join the club, pal.
Here we go. Yahoo Sports, Charles Robinson. Yahoo Sports still exists.
Goat.
Charles Robinson still exists.
Absolutely. Charles Robinson, friend of the program. The Falcons are expected to keep quarterback Kirk Cousins through Sunday's deadline and pay him $10 million that he's due. Because there's another $10 million guaranteed that's due by March 17th or 16th or something like that.
Staying there.
So he's staying.
I was looking at their roster just to see because it piqued my interest. They don't have another quarterback besides him and Penix. So if they were to cut him and let him go, they'd be in a real situation. And who perfect to deal? Because we all know Kirk. He's a great guy. He's going to help Michael Penix. And if Michael Penix is on a rookie deal, they probably don't mind paying Kirk that money. So the only way that you potentially do that is if Kirk forces his way out, which also doesn't seem like a guy who would do that, but. We'll see.
Does he have the no trade clause so he can kind of pick where he goes, or no? Is that somebody else?
Not sure. But we do know Penix loves him. Penix talked about him last year about how he looked up to him and everything.
Yeah, and I think Kirk loves Penix.
Yeah.
I think is the way he talks about it. So maybe Kirk gets to the point where he's like, all right, this is my career now.
He does have a no trade.
He's got family down there too.
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah.
His wife's family is from there.
Yeah.
And
still,
he's making a ton of money doing nothing.
Sucks.
It does suck that, but
Doesn't feel that way. But yeah, he knows where he's at. But to accept the fact, to accept the role of, hey, I'm a backup now, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, I agree. But that is a conversation that a lot of quarterbacks have to have. And I only know that because Matt Hasselbeck came to be the backup for Andrew Luck, and he was a starter the year before. And I had a chance to chat with him about how he had to actually talk to his family and be like, if I take this, it's like me admitting my starting days are kind of over. Now I'm just the veteran backup. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is going to have to do that, but that is a part of a career that people can get to if they want to, or they can bow out of. To your point, I forgot completely about how great he was on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Van Pelt's mic muted, couldn't talk anymore on set, and Kirk just took over the show and just started directing and started talking and kind of promo and asked a question. Then Scott gets a microphone back, they're back. He was great on television. I mean, and he said sometimes, my son asks about Patrick Mahomes, and I tell him it's hard that we don't even play the same sport. We're playing the self-deprecating humor from Kirk Cousins. He's obviously a nerd. We all very much understand that. He understands that as well. He has a great TV gig.
Oh, yeah.
Son of a pastor.
We learned that, too, during COVID.
Commanded an audience.
Yes, we did.
Great perspective, too, because he got drafted, fourth round?
Yep.
Came in, obviously, as a backup, same draft as RG3, and then he was at the point where he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league and now been a backup. And then he played in these offenses in KOC, coming from that McVay tree. He'll be able to talk about these quarterbacks in these offenses for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So, Kirk probably won't be starting this year, but he's got a great future ahead of him, I would say.
I love Kirk.
Yeah.
I love Kirk Cousins. I really do.
Big fan.
Every time I talk to him, I'm like, I love this guy. Nerd.
Another guy from the quarterback series.
But understands it. Like you said, very self-effacing.
Yeah, love him. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Big one tomorrow.
Huge.
Because it's day one of the new league year.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's also ticket release day for Big Night Out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how this is going to do. I think there's a chance.
I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be okay.
Legitimately, I don't know. There's a chance because I think it's 10,000 tickets, 11,000. I don't know the exact number because we're blacking out some of the sections because the way it's going to be set up, obviously for giveaways and stuff. It's a fully immersive show. I will say there's a lot happening. The giveaways in the performances, we'll say, are obviously the key parts of it. So setting up the arena and the seating is rather important. I think it's going to be 11,000, 10,000. And we said no ticket will be more than $100, the base price of the ticket. So I got a call this morning from
fees.
Yeah, they were like, hey, there's we saw in your video, you said that there's no ticket will be worth more than $100. The base ticket price will be less than $100, but after the fees, it will go over 100 miles an hour or $100. I'm like, I feel okay. I feel like I told the truth.
Yeah.
We listed now these fees are crazy though.
Oh yeah, they are. But
that's not on you.
It's different if you were if tickets were $700. The fees on top of that push it well over 1,000, like 100. It's still manageable. It's like sales tax.
$20 tickets will be available. I don't know how long those will be available. I think there's a couple thousand of those, and then $95 will be the most expensive ticket that will be out there. There's a $70 ticket, I think, that has the most. It's either 70 or 60. I forget what it is. It's one of those in there that has the most available. But I'm very excited for it. It's going to be I think it's going to be a fucking amazing show. Literally every day that passes, and I'm a pretty negative person. Okay, I call our show terrible. I say our show stinks or whatever. Normally, I think everything's going to not be great, not be good enough for people's attention. Hey, people are spending their attention with us. People are spending their time with us. We got to make it good. Sorry, our show stinks. It's literally my thought. And there's mornings where I come in here where I'm just standing in the shower just like, what the fuck? We are going to disrespect so many people today with what our show is about to be. I am so sorry about how bad it is. So I normally feel that way about everything. I normally think everything's going to be crap. We are lucky that if anybody watches anything, and if the next day they decide to still be fans of us, we're in a good spot. That is legitimately my feeling towards things. This one, it feels good. I don't know what. It feels good.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's because the amount of talent that are going to be on this show. It's it's going to be a cool night. I think it's going to be big. night. I think it's going to be a cool night. I think it's going to be a really cool night. And obviously, giving over $1 million in the arena will be a lot of fun. Changing some lives will be a lot of fun. And the people that are going to show up, the guests, I think people are going to be like, how the fuck did
Billy Gardell?
I did this.
No doubt.
How the fuck did this guy put this thing together? Billy Gardell has not been reached out to yet. You're right, though.
Yet.
That is a.
Who's
that?
Oh, show is fluid. Show is fluid.
Come on, D-Buck. Don't do that.
I'm just want to be.
Don't do
educated.
that.
Don't do what you said.
Pittsburgh.
Don't do
go.
what you just said. Don't do what you just said.
Sorry, I'm not from Pittsburgh.
Oh, you never seen Mike and Molly?
He's a national.
What about
Bob and Abishola?
Guy invented Ozempic.
Well,
okay, I know Ozempic.
You know the commercial then. He was fucking doing the high knees
Cone
with
drill.
He was doing high knees with the
Sucking down a dog.
but that was, I mean, Billy.
Hot dog.
Billy is proud.
Yo,
Excuse me.
No.
That's Billy Gardell.
Boom.
The one I grew up,
okay, yeah.
That's some DK Harbor.
the one I grew up with, left. The one that is now, right. That is Billy Gardell. Right there.
I know that guy.
Macho Man.
Kind of looks like Ellen.
I have not reached out to Billy Gardell, but people said I look like Ellen the other day.
Really?
Yeah, when I had my glasses on. I had a thing going on with my eye, so I put the glasses on, to cover it up because I didn't know what was going on. That just disappeared. I'm not going to get that checked. I'm just going to keep it moving.
Smart.
Yeah, good move. Don't Google it either.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, fuck that.
I have no idea. I'm just like, all right, something's happening with my eye. I don't like it. Okay, I'm going to put these glasses on to try to hide it a little bit. Okay, tomorrow, if the same thing, we're doing the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next day, didn't have it. I'm like, sweet, no more glasses.
Good to go.
What happened? I asked that like one time. I was like, that feels like that was something though. And it's like, don't, you don't have
Yeah,
time.
you got to get your eyeball removed.
You don't have time. You don't have time
Stuff
to think
it
about
down.
that. Yeah, you just don't think. Just move. So shout out to my eye. I don't know what
Good work.
Way to figure it out, dude.
Did I?
I think it is actually my dominant eye too.
Ooh.
Left eye dominant, right hand guy. So as a growing up shooter, right, rifle, right, spot with two eyes, then lock in with one eye, and then it turns out that you do this game or the thumb game on which eyes. I'm left eye dominant this entire time, so I should have been fucking or just
Would you rather be born blind or turn blind when you were 30?
Born
blind.
Oh. Yeah, I guess I wonder if someone's born blind, how do they see things in their, how do they picture the world?
Audio.
Yeah, I know they are, but like in their brain, do they have visions of something?
Feel and audio, I think.
It's like, you don't have color, you don't have.
I'm just saying that. What do they? How do they say a goalpost? And you've never seen a goalpost. How do they envision that?
Creative. Did I tell you guys about my trip to Starbucks the other day? Did I tell you about this on the show?
You did.
You glued your head to the table.
Nice.
Good calls.
The Bucs at Schultz's place or where?
No, I didn't protest.
The protest.
No, I didn't protest.
Oh no, maybe it wasn't on the show.
I went in there and got an Americana. Okay, we're doing some furniture shopping next door, and boy, I found out me not in there much better. I'm kind of bored. Sam was dialed in though. Every piece, the whole thing, having a conversation. I love it. She's great at it. I'm very appreciative of what she's done for our homes, everything. She's great at it. But for me, I get bored pretty quickly. I'm either laying on the couch or I'm going and looking at something we're never going to buy. That's what I mean. Starbucks next door. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go get a Starbucks. So I go into Starbucks, and the lady that's working in Starbucks, she has this thing drilled into her head with like an AirPod on the end of it. And it's on her left side, and cash register is I'm this way. So she's like, here. So I see it, and she was incredibly polite, kind, nice, jovial. And I just can't help myself. I'm like, excuse me, I obviously see what's behind your ear there. What is that? So she lost hearing in her left ear because of a virus like 15 or 20 years ago or something like that. And they had this device that they drilled into like a bone.
Cochlear implant.
A cochlear implant, yeah.
Boom. And then she had this thing on it. And I was like, how's it work? She's like, good. Yeah. It just sends it over. I'm like, genius. Isn't technology just like amazing? Yeah. I told her, and she's like, yeah, I love it. I have to change it out every 2 years. There's like an update on it or whatever. And once you get past just like looking at something sticking out of somebody's, it's small, but it's definitely sticking out of a head. Like at my life, obviously, and I can hear now on this side of my face, in my head, and yada yada. And I said, technology is the greatest. She said, the best thing that I saw, guy came in here with a seeing cane, like a cane, and they got his phone out, and she was like, do you want me to tell you any stuff that we have, like 2 cookies or whatever? And he goes, no, I'm good. He had a phone that was directly attached to, I don't know, something he had, like a Bluetooth, maybe implant or something, and he was just reading everything that was in front of him. So like it was like chocolate chip cookie, there's 3 of them. There's blueberry muffin, there's 2 of them. So he was like literally getting a play-by-play from his phone into his ear about what was happening in front of him. And it's like, could you imagine not having that? Like if you're a blind person, not having that. It's like, so they've, I think technology has tried its best. What was the thing Elon was creating?
Neuralink.
Yeah, he's trying to fix that.
Yeah, that's wild.
It'll get there.
I hope so. I hope we get to a point where technology is able to take care of that. Because your question there, she lost hearing 15 years ago or 20 years ago in that ear, but I couldn't imagine just losing it completely, at a certain age, or losing vision at a certain age. I guess you have memories, which is good, but then are you automatically reminded that you can't see them anymore?
Probably.
Every single time. So that's a tough thing. I'm happy
Really
technology's taking care of that. But that thing in that lady's head was really cool. Like, because you can hear, that's why the headphones that don't go in the ear, that just kind of sit on your jawbone, they kind of rattle through your bones and you can kind of hear it. It's like, it's impressive shit what we're able to accomplish. But that lady had to get that drilled in her, I think. I was like looking at it.
Worth it, it sounds like.
That hurt so bad. Yeah, I think so. She says it shoots over to the other ear. She can hear it in there. Whatever the case. I'm not tough enough to get that thing drilled in there. I hope I don't lose my vision. I got LASIK. And there's some things where I'm doing this now, and I'm like, I'm going to have to get LASIK again. And I'm not going to do it. They fucking tape your eyes open.
It's easy now. It's a lot easier now, isn't it?
They fucking tape your eyes open. Then a laser comes in. Have you done it?
No, but I watched my wife get it done like 15 years ago.
That's when I got it done.
How long does it last, typically?
What do you mean? The
like, do you
20, 30 years, I thought.
Yeah, 15, 20, 30, whatever it is. Yeah, but I got it done off season. I got it done. But they tape your fucking eye open, and then a laser comes in. You don't see anything. You lose complete vision. You're black.
That's why I'll never do it.
And they're
that
like,
just scares the shit out of me.
That's really scary.
They do it one at a time. So then they're like, let us know whenever you see the blinking light again, and then you don't see it. And they're like, let us know when you see the blinking light. And after the 4th time they ask you, you're like, am I supposed to?
Yeah, oh shit.
Is this over or whatever? And then all of a sudden you see and it's like, oh, yeah, I can see it. They're like, okay, good. And then they do the cleanup and then that whole thing. And then they do the next eye. They're like, all right, we're going to do the other eye. It's like, oh, let us know whenever you see the blinking light. Let us know whenever you see the blinking light. I say the fuck, am I blind in one eye? And then the light comes back. It's like, thank God. Next morning, though, 2010, the whole world. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. I mean, you could go blind, I guess, but definitely worth it.
Would you just get prescription glasses, though?
I had to wear prescription glasses because I had contacts in for like 10 years straight, never took them out.
Because you already wear the glasses sometimes.
Those are blue light glasses to protect my eyeball.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So like that whole thing obviously doesn't bother you.
But when you wear blue light glasses, like here is good, but all the way out here,
yeah, bad.
It's bad. Like you, if these are actual prescription glasses, you can't see shit. Like out here is where it sucks.
Right.
So like I had bad eyes, bad eyes. I had contacts in though I never took out. It's amazing what the world looks like whenever you can actually see.
For sure.
It is pretty crazy what the world looks
Come
like.
on, Foxy.
And LASIK was able to do that for me. Yeah, Foxy needs it.
Yeah, I've looked into it. I didn't know that I didn't have to miss a day of work to get this done. I could do it Friday after the show and then be good to go. So I'm actually going to do this.
Yeah, and getting it done the latest you possibly can on a day is the right play.
Yeah, and every single person I've talked to that has gotten it done said it's the greatest thing they've done in their life.
Next morning, you're seeing 2010.
Yeah.
Literally the next morning. Because if you get the last one, you're not allowed to drive home or whatever. You get the last one done, you just take an Ambien immediately afterwards, and you just sleep. You wake up at like fucking 3 a.m. or whatever, because your sleep schedule is kind of fucked. But whenever you wake up, you have to wear glasses. I think the next day they got those wraparound boys that you got to wear, the solar eclipse
virtual reality glasses, yeah.
Yeah, those ones you got to wear, but like you can just see everything. So I think the way I got it done, I think I got a 4:30 or 5 o'clock appointment, had it done, took an Ambien, woke up like 3 a.m. and I was like, holy fuck, this is a pretty nice house I'm living in. You know?
That's what I'm going to do.
I couldn't see
For
it.
sure.
I went into the indoor facility like 2 days later for the Colts, and I'm like, wow, I haven't been able to see the roof.
Place is nice.
Yeah, because all the lights, because all the lights, you know, yeah, exactly, because all the lights are blurry, so they just cover up, you know, because whenever lights pop up, if you have bad eyes, it's just a big. So like the roof of the Colts facilities, the first time I saw it, I'm like, this is a pretty nice fucking place or whatever. They're like, yeah, we didn't change anything. I'm like, yeah, I know, but this is my first time seeing it. He's like, well, what have you been playing with? I'm like, yeah, not good. I've been pretty blind.
Someone told me the procedure took 3 minutes total, and you were done and out.
Yeah, but it feels like an hour. Whenever there's when there's no vision in your eye, because they go one eye at the time. So when you can't see anything in your right eye, that's sketchy. That's sketchy feeling.
That's crazy. Your whole job is
and holding.
Or
and so what happened was I lost my right contact mid-game.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any backup contacts because I've been wearing these contacts for fucking 10 years, 5 years or whatever. So I literally had no, and this is, and I got Adam Vinatieri here, so it's like, listen, I can fuck up for me here, but this guy is
the fucking other eye, buddy. Put it down.
Bingo. That's kind of what I did. I kind of did now that I know that my left eye dominant, I did do like a one eye thing, and the snap came at me for a punt, and it was I'm like, I need to get these eyes fixed. And then I had to go with more contacts. I didn't even have more contacts. But I would recommend it. I'm
going to get it done for sure. Hopefully soon.
It's sketchy, though.
I don't know.
Taping your eye open is a wild scene.
When did they first start doing LASIK? Like, who was volunteering to be like the test dummies?
So when they
Helen Keller.
Rats.
Helen Keller would have got it, hopefully. I don't know how that works.
That's how she got blind.
But I don't know. I don't think that's true.
Whoa.
I don't know how Helen learned it, you know? I don't know how Helen Keller learned.
Is any of that real?
There's some Helen Keller conspiracy theories. I don't believe in them, but there are some.
1989 was the first ever LASIK. Adam Schefter has reported it is now official that the Jets are releasing Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Okay, big news. The Jets will take on $49 million in dead cap money on releasing Rodgers. He's being designated as a post-June 1 cut, meaning they'll carry his $21 million cap hit until June 1st, when it drops to $14 million, saving $7 million. But they then will absorb a $35 million dead. Okay.
A lot of mumbo jumbo.
But yes, the Jets are officially releasing Aaron Rodgers. He will be a free agent. And now we sit and wait. I saw Schefter was on a podcast, and he said he's tired of waiting of Aaron Rodgers.
Bruce sent that into the group chat. I thought it was actual breaking news because Aaron's picture popped up with Schefter's name, but
Bruce, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for keeping us updated back there.
That's on me.
Could be a Giant.
Yeah, could be. Maybe. If he wants to, but why would he?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, that is a good
Doesn't
point.
want to move.
Everybody hates moving.
Everybody hates moving.
Movie
Godwin
sucks.
hated it by 20 mil.
he could wake up tomorrow and see the ocean's blue and be like, Giants.
Sky.
That's not how it works.
You keep
You
saying
keep
stuff
doing
like
shit like
this,
that.
he's going.
You're out.
You're going to end up with fucking Mason Rudolph as your quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, if that's how time is a flat circle works, then that's where we'll be.
Okay. Okay. Don't be. You're listening to Coach Diggs too much.
No,
you
no.
need to stop reading Coach Diggs.
I refuse to talk to him about any of it.
You need to stop reading Coach Diggs' text. He said he's not watching the Steelers. They bring in Aaron Rodgers. One, he's our old guys.
I heard. I know it probably won't happen, but if Coach Diggs came on the show one time, I'd be very happy.
We can definitely make that happen. And certainly if we're giving him front row, 50
In his full
yard
coaching gear, though. He needs to be coaching gear, though.
Yeah.
Duh.
We know.
It's the only gear he has.
Yeah, that's a
We played
Tuesday.
bocce. We played bocce with him.
We should go do a show live from his
Be
next
awesome.
bocce match.
Can you
When do you guys
imagine?
take on the Pepperones? When do you guys take on the Pepperones?
As long as Tim's coming on the show, too, I think. Let's do it.
No. Tim,
Yeah, exactly.
Tim is just holding down the fort here. I don't think he'll be at the Pepperones match either, so that'll be a whole different animal. Us live at a bocce match? Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's a big one.
Cool. Better be better than tire wrestling.
We got that was on
Maybe.
ESPN News. Speaking of, we have pitched a couple specials to be on ESPN2. I hope that happens. We are dabbling into the creating new content world, you know?
Okay.
So we would like a couple specials to be allowed on ESPN2.
Okay.
And we'll see how those are received. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for us to explore the space.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well.
Of counter programming. I'm excited for us to kind of explore that entire thing. I'm very, very pumped up about that. But we will. We certainly will. All right, tickets tomorrow, noon, okay? Noon. I am scared that because of the price of these things, only going to be able to buy 4 max.
Okay.
Only going to be able to buy 4 max.
Smart.
It's Wednesday, April 9th is the show, so I know that's tough for some people. I saw some messages from people saying, I work on Thursday. I thought you were for the working man. It's like, all right. All right. I work on Thursday too, bub. Okay. How about, but with that being said, the reason why it's Wednesday is so that we can add on to the Axe kind of tour, because everybody kind of works Thursday through Saturday. And if you want to think about the people that are doing those types of gigs, those are the people that'll be there on a Wednesday night. So any of those other days would have been tough to kind of get in there, especially in the spring whenever a lot of people are on the move. So I apologize for it being on Wednesday night, but also has to be on a Wednesday night, and it'll be fun. It's going to be a good night.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good show. People are going to say, why isn't this show happening before? I think it's going to go great. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. Hey, D-Butch, great work this week.
Hey, you too, brother.
Another boy, D-Butch.
1, 2, 3. Team. Good night.